In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Roca and Matt Nost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition, episode, installment, sequel, chapter.
What else you got?
I'm running out. I'm trying to think on my feet, and I'm running out of...
I'm just going to let you dangle in the wind. I'm not going to help.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to... I can't... Shit, I was hoping for one more.
What do you got so far? Give it back to me.
Wait, again?
Already forgot? Chapter, I'm guessing, would be the first one you'd say.
Chapter, episode, installment, sequel.
Sequel? How is it a sequel?
Well, because it's still the top 10 show.
Yeah, it's one continuing storyline then?
Yes.
We're somehow extending the storyline of the top 10?
We're still the same actors in the same show. We're essentially...
True, but what is the arc of this fucking story?
I don't know.
Just never ending? Is it that
Let's
one
hope
movie that lasts like how long? What is the world's longest movie? Doesn't it last an obscene amount of...
Yeah, I think it's like 3 days.
Yeah, I think it might be
Stroheim.
even longer than that.
I think it was Greed. Eric von Stroheim's Greed, I think, is the longest film ever shot.
But-
I think.
In essence, that means that has no narrative structure. It
Right.
just kind of bleh for
Essentially,
3
it's a
days.
reality. You just turn the camera on a reality show, essentially. Yeah.
And put it on celluloid and then put it out for people to pay money to go see it as an art piece.
Exactly. Back then in the old days, what they did with film.
Well, no, I know somebody put out one in the past few years that was like for the title of longest film ever. I'm going to look it up. Look it up.
Please
Vamp
do.
for a second. I'm going to look it up.
Well, this is the top 10 show. And we want to thank you all very much for the incredible words of support you gave us after the debacle that happened in our match. And then we got to talk about it last week. So thanks, everybody, for supporting us. And by the time you listen to this, when is this one coming out? Next Tuesday?
Yeah, it comes out. So it's the end of the month.
Okay. So we're going to drop the live event the 30th. Collider's dropping the live event on the 30th. Matt and I were at the live event. Obviously, you know I competed, but Matt came and supported very, very proudly the top 10 show and supported me, so I was very happy with that. And you guys will see the result of that. I guess we drop it this Friday for when we're dropping this episode, this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, so it comes out 3 days later.
Yeah, 3 days later. You can be able to watch it, and it's a blast. It was a great night. It was a fun night.
Yeah, and stay tuned to the end of the show because we'll be dropping a little something for the Patreon peeps.
Boom.
That you guys are hopefully excited about.
Yeah.
Hopefully excited about.
And I really thank all the Patreon people who've been supporting, donating every month. Really incredible, and your words of support as well. Anyway, we just want to talk about movies. And Matt,
that was gorgeous.
But first, Matt. Oh, yeah. I'm John Roca.
I'm Matt Nost. But first, what?
We're rounding into, we're getting into the playoff. We're in the final stretches here.
Uh-huh.
They're resting everybody, which is killing all my fantasy
or
teams.
you're Golden State and everybody's hurt.
What is going on here?
They're hurt, but they're not really hurt.
Are they not? Do you think they should just take a break?
No. I think they're genuinely hurt, but then it's just like, we don't need to rush you guys back.
Yeah.
We have the second seed pretty much locked up, and we're completely content with that.
Right.
Let Curry get some more rest. Let Clay get his rest. Let Durant and now Draymond get their rest.
Yeah.
But all 4 of their All-Stars are out, at least as of this recording.
It's insane.
But keep them out. Although I read today that Ginobili said that Kawhi's not coming back.
What? At all?
No. He's
Pop
just done.
said he was coming back.
Pop has not been willing to. Well, they hinted at it saying middle of this month.
Right.
And then that kind of lapsed. And then I read today Ginobili's like, he's not coming back. And then the full statement is, we can't act like he is going to be walking through those doors.
Wow.
But it's him saying he's not coming back this season.
That's a strong statement.
Yeah. Maybe next season. I don't know if he's saying there's any discord within the team.
Yeah.
But he's saying this season, we're not expecting him to come back, and we can't rely on that.
I'm surprised.
I'm not there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
San Antonio's been so good for so long that I got to just assume that Kawhi is such a quiet individual that he is really just like, yeah, I don't feel 100%. And they're like, why risk it?
Yeah. And LaMarcus has really come into his own on that team this year. Like, I remember last year they were going to trade him in the offseason, and look how much he's made this team his own, man. And I guess Pop figured out how to use him effectively, which was incredible because I'm like, this guy was killing it in Portland. How are you, one of the greatest coaches ever, to coach a team or coach in the NBA, not figuring out how to effectively use this player? And maybe Kawhi was a roadblock to using LaMarcus in the way that he wanted to be used.
According to Pop, it was he was not using LaMarcus correctly.
Yeah.
That he was trying to ask him. Yeah, he does. He was like, I was asking things of him that aren't what he's best at. So why not just figure out how to get the best out of him as opposed to being upset when he has shortcomings? We all do, kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, but if they squeeze in as the 8 seed and they got to play Houston, that's really interesting because D'Antoni's never beaten Pop in the playoffs. I think this year would be his first.
Chris Paul is the difference here, and I think we've seen it over the last few weeks or last couple of months, actually. You see the difference, man. That Houston team with D'Antoni was only going to go so far. With Paul's hard edge nature, it gives him another level that they can go to. They can punch people in the mouth, because Chris Paul is a bitch. He's a bitch. And and he plays well, but he's a bitch, and so it gets under your skin, and that's what you need in the playoffs. Sometimes you got to get on the skin of the people you're playing with, make them make mistakes. There's no way LeBron James wins that championship against the Warriors if he doesn't get
Draymond to go
kick him in the nuts.
Yeah,
there's no way they win that championship. No way. And so
I
that's
agree.
Those little things you have to do, man. And so I'm excited. But Portland is the team that I'm really surprised by, dude. Like third in the West. That's incredible.
I'm actually more surprised by OKC.
That they're fourth?
Yeah, that they've managed to climb this high.
Yeah.
Because they still have all the same flaws. It's just they're all playing better together now. But it's just like, I don't see how you guys beat anybody credible in the playoffs. But who knows?
I think Corey Brewer coming back filled that hole that who got hurt?
Andre Robertson?
Yeah, when Andre Robertson went, because they missed that defense. And having Brewer come back, who is a fucking steel
they're
king.
6-1 now.
Yeah,
with him in the starting lineup.
It matters. Defense fucking matters.
Oh yeah, it does.
That team doesn't function without that level of defense there. So it's really great to see what they're doing.
Especially when you have Westbrook and Anthony out there. George is great, but those two aren't the best defenders.
Exactly.
So if you have one other guy up there that can be a perimeter stopper, it'll slow down any modern NBA offense. At least throw a wrench into their system.
Yeah. What's your feeling with Cleveland now with Love back? They have one game, and do you think they were just missing that second All-Star and now they're fine?
No.
No, you don't buy it.
Do I still think it's Cleveland's to win? Maybe.
Okay.
Because Toronto's the only one standing in their way because Boston is the most beat up team I can think of right now.
Right.
So I think it's Cleveland's to lose because Toronto, you got to see them win a game one.
Yeah.
Win me a game one.
Agreed.
So until then, it's just like, you got to beat LeBron in the playoffs. And so long as he's got enough rest, he's basically the equivalent of almost two players.
Right.
So.
What about what Anthony Davis is doing? It's pretty amazing, don't you think?
Yeah. I wish.
I thought they were out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I thought Boogie was pulling enough of the defense's gravity away from him, so it opened him up to do all the amazing things and made Boogie that much more effective. Yeah. But then since he's been gone, Anthony Davis has been the player we all assumed he'd be.
Mm-hmm. He's a monster, dude.
Yeah.
He's a goddamn monster.
If he could do this every season, then he's modern-day Kareem, and nobody can stop him.
Agreed.
Nobody can stop him.
1,000% agree.
Who can stop a 7'2" guy that can do all these things?
Yeah, shoot from the outside.
Nobody.
3 points, dribbling.
Only Durant.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can shoot as well as Durant, you could make a case for eventually you'd be the greatest player of all time.
And I think Giannis is maybe a year away from being able to do what Davis is doing.
If he can shoot.
Yeah, if he could shoot.
That's his problem.
Yeah.
If he can shoot.
Agreed.
Then Giannis is, dear God, that guy is so scary.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Until he can get a consistent outside jumper, especially from three.
Yeah. That's one of the quiet stories that Jason Kidd's firing because they totally righted the ship. They're doing fine now without him.
Not really. I think their record is roughly the same as it was before he left. I don't think they've improved.
They seem happier on the court, though.
Perhaps. I mean, there was the bump after he left. They won a bunch of games thereafter. It happens almost every time a coach leaves. I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did. But since then, they've been, I think, roughly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Do you have any dark horses? Do you have any teams? No. Everything's kind of lined up.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
There it is.
It'll be Houston, Golden State.
Do you think it's Houston in the finals? Or do you think Golden State in the finals?
Golden State in the finals.
You really think Golden State will be Houston?
Hell yes. Hey, it's not even close.
Okay.
If all four of them are healthy, It's not even close.
Yeah, but the last time Steph had injuries, it affected the team as well. It affected their run to the title as well. It
does. But I also think now Durant understands that offense even more.
Yeah.
And they've functioned without Steph. Now, Steph makes them incalculably more dangerous.
Right.
And I'm not taking anything away from him. But if they lost Durant, they still are lethal.
Yeah.
And they've shown it in the past. But when you have those two guys on there, eventually, just fine. We will run pick and roll between the two of them. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
And occasionally, okay, when you have another defender collapse, guess what? I got Klay Thompson open.
Yeah.
One of the best, if not the best, spot-up shooter in the league right now.
Agreed.
And then if he's covered, fine. We have Draymond. They still have more options than anybody else. And all those guys defend really well.
All right.
I mean, Curry's average, but he gets a lot of steals.
Yeah.
It's just his size kind of limits him at times.
Is this one? Have you looked forward to these playoffs at all?
I look forward to every
more than in past years.
No.
Okay.
I like them.
comparable.
I mean, other than
Do you
the
think
West,
there'll be a shit matchup that nobody's going to watch? It's going to be on NBA
in the
TV?
East, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It'll happen in the East.
Like Pacers, Wizards, or something.
Oh, you want to talk about like ratings numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one won't. That should be interesting though.
Yeah.
That'd be competitive.
And Wall hasn't come back yet, so we're getting close to the end of the season, man. He's got to come back. They got to find a way to work him back into this new version of the Wizards. So we'll see.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to win a championship anyway.
Shut up.
You're not.
Stop it.
You know it. You know it just as well as I do. You have no look.
Yeah.
I'm unfortunate, but 7-game series. I take Toronto over you. I take the Celtics even banged up over you.
How
I
dare
take
you.
Cleveland over you.
That I can accept.
I take all those teams over mine. I'll take anybody in the league, apparently, except for the fucking Grizzlies and a couple others.
Yeah.
Over mine, and I have zero problem with it. I wish we had lost more. I wish the league hadn't contacted us directly, and then we had to start playing our competent players. I wanted to lose everyone. If this is the last year to tank, let's just.
Why can't Philly? If Philly gets to do it for 4 years, why can't you all do it for one?
Exactly. It's the last year.
I agree. Anyways, that's our little NBA, a little talk. This week we were looking at films of what we wanted to talk about, and we saw Ready Player One's coming out, which a lot of people have seen already. I haven't gotten a chance to see any of the screenings. I've had other things going on, so I'm looking forward to see it. I already have my tickets with my friends. We're going on Wednesday night when it comes out. And we were kicking around what topics to do, right? And we had planned out a while ago top 10 dystopian films, and then we looked and Matt goes, "There's so many.
There's so many.
We want to preserve these other films, these other like to be on other topics or other possibilities. So let's split the atom a little bit, as Matt likes to say, and we settled on dystopian technological or what did we say?
Yeah, technological dystopian films.
There we go. And that means
movies.
like it's in the future. And there's been some kind of nuclear war or dystopian or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And technology is still.
Yeah. Whatever created the dystopia.
Yeah.
Because dystopia can be, or a dystopian society can be arrived at through numerous different ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be cataclysmic war. It can be other things.
Right.
However you got there.
Yes.
And I tried on this list more than any other that we've done lately. I wanted to add movies that we don't talk about as much.
Agreed.
Because there's so many.
Agreed.
I mean, there's one that I flat out just took off my list because like it has been on a lot of our lists.
Yes.
And there were a couple that I couldn't leave off.
Okay.
Just because it's like I got to make a cut somewhere. This one has made a lot of our list.
Right.
You know what? We talked about it a lot. So we can say in the honorables, but if you want to say why didn't you have a couple specific films, it's literally because we've talked about it so many times.
Yeah, I agree.
That it's just like I need to discuss something else.
Yep.
Because you guys, it can't be interesting to hear me bring up this fucking movie for like the 7th time, 8th time, 9th time. It's like it's got to be dull.
Right.
So let's talk about something new. So yeah, all over the place. There's still, even when you do technological, because as we were talking about before we started recording.
Yeah.
How do you want to define this? Is it the technology that led to the dystopia?
Right.
Is it the technology that exists because of the dystopia? Is it a technology how are you going to define that? So then it's a fluid dynamic there. And guess what? There's still a shitload of options.
There is. There really is.
Yeah. So it's almost like well, okay, what do you want then?
Right.
What are you feeling? So that's it. So the way the show works is once we set a topic, John and I go our separate ways and create individual top 10 lists and show back up here. I do my bottom 3, he does his bottom 3, I do my next 2, he does his next 2, then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed a personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom.
My number 10,
Yes.
I threw on for a very specific reason because I wanted to make one of our 2 lists.
Okay.
Wall-E.
That is a punt.
Okay, I was hoping. Because I, as you know, I have feelings about that movie, but anyway,
do.
we'll get to it.
Okay.
Number
What's
9 then, The Lobster.
Oh, nice. Good choice, man.
With
I
the
like
Colin
that
Farrell.
movie.
I like it because it's a different take on. It's not like robot overlords.
Yep.
It's not like it's a nuclear wasteland. It's like no, it's overpopulation, and it's a Logan's Run kind of. Once you get to a certain age, if you don't have a companion, then we repurpose you as an animal. And it's a weird use of technology, and it's a dystopian future that, because they don't show like flying cars and all that stuff, it still seems very real. So the future of it could be 20 years, 30 years, who knows? Like it took us a couple 100,000 years to make 1 billion people, and then it's taken us 200 years to get to where we're at now.
Yeah, man.
Something like
People
along
gotta
those
stop
lines.
Fucking, man.
Yeah, well, once you get the Industrial Revolution, it's just like boom, population explosion thereafter.
That's right.
So overpopulation is like there's been numerous dystopian films over the years that are about overpopulation,
Right.
And this is just like a very interesting take on okay, well, how could we deal with the problem? And then, so Colin Farrell's choice in this is he'll be turned into a lobster. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hence the name of the movie, which is terrible because then you could be eaten by humans.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'd choose
But I think
that one.
that's what he wanted it.
Is that what it was?
He wanted to choose it so he could die. So he could die.
Okay.
Either way, he could die. Like, if he's going to be chosen to turn into an animal, he wants to turn into an animal that could die quickly and be eaten and be done.
Okay. I
And
don't
think
remember
that's
that
what
aspect of
yeah,
it.
I think that's what it was. And because he didn't want to be like forever like a gazelle or some shit, like whatever it was there were other people turning themselves into. He wanted it to be over with once and for all.
Okay.
Like, as soon as he
I can't
turned.
believe I've forgotten that
Yeah.
since I saw it. Maybe I was just so fixated on the unyielding, like you can find somebody, you don't need to go this route.
Right,
like there's
right.
still hope. Because the love affair that he has.
Yeah.
Just through like the sign language
Yeah,
or whatever,
man.
the little language they create between the two of them is so
Right.
real, so palpable.
Well, also, Matt, it's a great comment on fringe, on I don't know, radical groups one way or the other, right? Because you have these people that are like, you're going to be turned into a
Well, that's
an animal.
societal.
Right?
Everybody, I mean,
Right.
it happens to all of us.
But
It's
even
inevitable.
the rebellion ones who are like, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't be part of that. If you, in their world, if you look at someone and fall in love with someone, they're going to cut your fucking eyes out. That is just as insane as
Yeah.
turning someone into an animal. So it doesn't matter what group you're in, the extreme natures of them apply to both groups. It's a matter of perspective and political opinion. That's it.
It is.
But
Dying for your convictions.
Exactly. And you're stuck in a draconian society either way, whether you're considered the rebels or considered part of
Well, if you don't believe in the two ideologies that are being espoused,
you're
and-
stuck. You should be fucked.
Yeah. Well, you would assume though that there would be a vast majority like Colin Farrell, because that is us,
Yeah,
the audience.
that's
going,
true.
This is crazy.
Right.
That you would have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, how thick is the population that they have this idyllic setting? They could send them to upstate New York, the equivalent of.
Exactly.
Like you always see in movies. It's like doesn't seem that overpopulated here. I don't know what's going on here. Is it just resources? Is that what we're talking about?
I just love the acting all through it. Rachel Weisz and him, and Olivia Colman from Broadchurch. She's
Yeah.
she's just great stuff all around. It's really believable. And who's his friend? Oh, John C. Reilly, right? Who's like all like heartbroken about wanting to do, and he tries to. That's a great subplot too. When they try to make it work, and he's trying to like be with a woman, and he's trying not to complain about her, and then that one crack happens, and you're like, oh shit, it's madness.
Yeah,
dude.
you're doing it to save your own life.
Yeah, and
but
not because
for,
you're really in love.
Yeah, of
Right.
course not. But you have to keep the artifice of this is my sweetie.
Yeah,
we
she's
managed to
so
find each other at
frigid.
this concentration camp.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
She's so mean and frigid, man. But it's a fantastic film, and it's so much better than the one that came afterwards that same director did that came out last year. Ooh, that was
What else did he
boring as
do?
Shit.
What was the next one?
It's a long one. I can't remember the name. Something with a king or something. Like It's just really terrible.
Wow.
Anyway.
No idea.
Yeah. What's your number?
My
eight?
number 8 did not make your list.
Okay.
Elysium.
It did not.
Because I think that's a.
Oh, I hate that movie.
See, I don't hate it. I liked it. I didn't love it walking out, but I liked it from the perspective of it seemed like a potentially real future.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to have a space station out in the upper strata that only the
Right.
richest of the rich, but it's kind of bringing to helping to bring to light, or at least show the 1% versus the 99.
Yeah.
And like, here's what rich elitism, and eventually you get to like this, where if we continue along, and these select few get to reap the spoils of all the hard labor, and everybody else has to wallow in the muck,
Yeah.
just so that this select few can have a life of no disease, of long life, of leisure, of sunny day every day,
Yeah.
and you have butlers and maids, and everything is taken care of for you, and you have your own Defense Department and United Nations and all this ridiculous stuff. You're your own entire world, just feasting off the resources of and the time and the life of everybody else that's stuck on the ground. And people's natural want to rebel against that.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon having to come from, it's weird to see him basically play kind of a Latino.
Yes, that's the problem with the movie, Matt.
It is. Don't you just like Matt Damon so much? He's so good.
I love Matt, but it is a bit frustrating, the stupid shit he does. Like this film, it's a Mexican barrio, and you're going to find the one white kid who was adopted
He was
by
in
the
an
Mexican
orphanage.
mother. Fuck all that noise.
He was in an orphanage.
But it's still, they found a way to make the white person the fucking person who's going to lead everybody out of the fucking wilderness. There's just as intelligent Latino people
True.
who are able to lead us into the fucking out of the wilderness.
True. It just
I know a lot of them.
I think it's arbitrary though that you're up on arms about that. Like another example I brought up is that Naomi Watts' The Impossible. They focused the story on the one white
but
family.
I agreed with you.
Yeah, and that one. That one's a little bit because that happened,
Right.
and there are literally thousands upon thousands of families to choose from. Whereas
Right.
this is a completely fictional world.
No, you're right. But that's the same thing with when he does the Great Wall. Why is the white man going to try to save the Chinese?
Well, that's
on the
because-
stop doing this.
Chinese investors want to have a
Yes.
massive hit there and in the U.S. and take their
But you
film
don't have to
industry
take the money.
international.
You don't have to take the money.
Sure, you do.
You don't have to take these.
It makes him
stupid
an even
jobs.
bigger star in China.
I go, but I don't know. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I know. But I still call it whitewashing, though. That was your number 8?
How is it whitewashing?
Because
It's not like this was a
the white man had nothing to do with the Great Wall of China.
Yeah,
Not a
I thought
fucking
you were talking
thing.
about it in regards to Elysium.
No. I'm talking about he does this.
Yeah, but they're saying that the wall was built to keep out like mystical beasts and shit, as opposed to Mongolian hordes, which it didn't even really work
No,
against.
it didn't really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I'm just
Eventually, they
saying.
had their own dynasty within China. I think it was
Yeah.
called the Han Dynasty.
I'm just waiting till he does the Eminem life story. He does his own Eminem, where he's the one white rapper in the whole black community who can.
That's a true
rap the best.
story.
I'm tired of it. No, I agree with 8 Mile. That's a true story. I'm talking about Matt Damon would be in a film like that, where he's the best rapper in the world coming out of a black ghetto.
Yeah, well,
It's bullshit.
I think you're taking for
I can't wait till
Elysium,
he
it's
plays
a
Wonder Woman.
fictional individual within a fictional society.
I know, but don't present him from coming from a barrio because you immediately turn off those of us who are Latinos. It's not like there's like a plethora of science fiction roles for Latinos. We always get fucked in the science fiction world. It's only recently that we started showing up in shit.
Yeah, but it's not like they made
And motherfuckers,
the
you ain't getting
Latino
rid of
community
us.
like a stereotype of like everybody's walking around like the drunk mice in Speedy Gonzales.
No, of course.
It's not like it's hey Matt.
But it is a ghetto, and there's the drug dealers.
It is, and the drug
There's
dealer,
other things, yeah.
but the drug dealers are played to great effect of like it's just kind of he's
Yeah.
a drug dealer.
No, they're good actors who play it. I
Got a
know. I
flexible
agree.
morality within the system.
I wanted to like it more than I did. I didn't like Jodie Foster's French accent. I had an issue with that. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's
why
bad.
she had that fucking
It's
accent
really
is
bad.
beyond me. It's like Idris
Why?
Elba's.
Yeah, she couldn't just do her own.
Yeah, like Idris Elba's French accent and motherfucking or country accent, whatever that is in Prometheus. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Just do your fucking voice. Stop it. But actors just want to show off sometimes. They get a bug up their ass.
Oh, I
I
buy
haven't
him.
tried this accent.
After The Wire, I got no problem. He
I
can
know.
do.
I know.
He's better than what is it? Is it Purejoy? Is the Purefoy?
Purefoy, James Purefoy.
No, Purefoy's from Rome.
Yeah, he is.
The guy that plays McNulty, his English accent sometimes, his American accent rather.
Dominic West.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes through every once again and be like, that's an interesting pronunciation. I don't know exactly where that dialect
I
is.
don't know where you learn to say it like that.
He's good most of
Yeah.
the time, but every once again it'd creep through and be like, I don't know about that one. Idris, I never questioned.
No. All right.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, I
That's my only thing.
understand.
That's my only thing. I'm not.
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
I
bitch
get
about
it. I get it. I just think for a completely fictional character, if you're putting it under the guise of he was from an orphanage and it just happened to be in this area. And
I like the story. It's a sweet story. I mean, him like looking into the sun or whatever.
as a kid, yeah,
doing all that.
and he's doing it to take a little a little girl up there to save her, and it's not for his own. And
yeah, and then you discover, like, of course, the class system that goes on, that is going on.
Yeah.
It's great exploration of that, but I just had an issue with The Messenger. All right, that was your number 8, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then my number 10 is iRobot.
that was on. It was on my cut.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I love this movie, man, and more than I Legend or whatever Legend or whatever it is called. Is it
I Am Legend?
I Am Legend. Yeah, more than I Am, and I like I Am Legend a lot. Like these two films for Will Smith, I enjoy them for different reasons.
The original I Am Legend, like the what they shot for the ending,
Yeah,
would have made that movie better to me.
I agree. I don't disagree.
Yeah. It makes more sense.
But iRobot was a surprise to me that I enjoyed this movie because I like it's in the future. He's got his stuff. He's got his arm. He's wearing. It's all this whole thing of technology and in the future and police forces controlling situations and trying to do their best. Which, as I was looking at my list, I found it to be very prevalent throughout my list. This idea of futuristic police forces coming in and fuck around with shit. So
Yeah.
I have that, and so apparently it's in my head a lot. And I think that is the point of dystopian stuff: is this fear of like, well, we don't want these authoritarian regimes come in certain forms to bring peace because humans desire stability. Humans desire stability, even if it's a tyrant, they desire stability.
Yeah, they like rules.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
like some
knowing
kind of
what's right and
structure. Right, exactly. And so what I like with iRobot is like, okay, you've got this robot that supposedly committed this murder. Alan Tudyk does a great job doing the voice of the robot.
Yeah.
And then Will Smith's exploration of trying to figure this all out, and then also deal with the fact that he has got a piece of him is a robot as well.
Yeah,
and,
his lack of identity.
right, and
or
figuring
mixed
all that
identity.
out. Right, exactly, which I like about that, And of course, as a black man, he can bring something of that as well from his own personal experience, but trying to fit into the world, a white world, as a rapper coming into this world of trying to be an actor, trying to be all these things. What was that experience for him? So all of that.
So you think
going through.
well, this was years past his transition?
No,
though.
but that still stays with you. I think you can still call upon it as an actor, this idea of feeling out of place in certain societies, certain situations.
Okay.
I feel it might be there. And so I enjoyed what he brought to the role a lot. I enjoyed the harder edge he had to it, much more than Hancock. I enjoyed that harder edge to the role he brought to it. And then when the whole thing comes around, and what's her face from Blue Bloods? Oh, I forget that actress's name.
Is that Bridget Moynihan?
Bridget Moynihan,
Yeah.
yes. Her, oh God. Yeah, so I love her being part of this whole thing and the way it all ends up. Now, the way it all ends up, which of course is way at the top, someone's been messing with the robots, all the things have gone downhill, and then he has to figure it out. So I enjoyed it very much. I think it's a good film that I would encourage people to see if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a enjoyable movie.
Yes. Yeah. Surprisingly so, because you think it's going to be a throwaway vehicle for Will actually has something to say about society and about your identity of yourself within that society, which I
Well,
enjoy.
I mean, that's based on Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
So whenever
Right.
you have Philip K. Dick as a source material,
Yeah. All right, then my number 9 is Demolition Man.
not on my list.
Okay. I absolutely
Didn't
love the shit out of this
Didn't
movie.
even make my honorable mentions. You kidding me with that?
Crazy, man.
Demolition Man is not.
Oh, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes at the height of his hubris. Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone at the height of the alleged steroids and working out. And then very cute Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Bratt gets thrown in there as well. And Dennis Leary and Mick Fleetwood, I think, is in this thing. And so I think that's
Rob
him.
Schneider.
Schneider, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, he doesn't know about the shells.
Okay. Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And the whole
The
thing
3
with,
seashells or whatever it is.
the whole thing with Taco Bell. Like, it's just, to
Yeah.
me, it's an enjoyably fun film to watch. And I watched it again, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was just randomly on USA or something, or TNT, and I was just watching and going, this is actually still as delightful as I remember it when I watched it the first time. Because Sandra Bullock is the reason to watch it. Like, it's fun to see Wesley and Sylvester Stallone ham it up like crazy. But Sandra she brings the right touch to that role.
She does.
She has that kind of hero worship.
She's my favorite part of it.
Of course, she has that hero worship while also finding her footing as a police force and this whole thing of like fish out of water type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because he's forcing her to kind of not adhere to what the futuristic principles are, that sometimes you got to get a little dirty to catch these criminals that are built this certain way, and that's just part of the game, right? And she kind of helps him a little bit too. So I really enjoyed the movie for that aspect of it.
You go right ahead.
Okay. All right, there we go. And then my number 8 is our punt from earlier, Wall-E. So Wall-E's my number 8. Yeah,
okay.
Modest
punt.
Well, yeah. If it's 2 slots, I always think we have to punt.
It's in that bottom 3.
Yeah?
We
All
talked
right.
about it.
All right.
I think it's the second round.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All right. So you talk about since it's your first choice.
Look, as I said before, I'm a big Pixar fan. I like animation a lot.
Yeah, yes, you do.
This is not one of my favorite Pixars, but I think the first half is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
And it is this dystopian. We have destroyed the earth by just gobbling up every resource and killed all life on this planet.
Yep.
And now we are forced to live outside of it, to hoping one day maybe we can come back. We set this lonely little robot to go around compacting. Just generations after generations of people living and dying up on that damn ship, and he's just compacting trash that we left on there.
Right.
But that first half, man, that thing just sings. It is just gorgeous. It's
very romantic. The first half, right? I mean, with the song, the Hello Dolly songs that he's listening to, the romance that develops between him and Eve in his mind,
or Eva,
yeah, all of that occurs. It's incredible what they're able to do with almost no dialogue, and it's just
they made a cockroach lovable.
Yeah, I mean they really did.
Yeah, lovable.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's his buddy. It's his Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's his Wilson.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison.
Just needs somebody to hang out with because he's so lonely and by himself down there.
Yeah.
And now he sees her and she's all sleek and gorgeous and he's just so timid and afraid to even talk to her.
Right.
Their companionship is really amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Because there's a chemistry there.
Yeah.
Without, once again, speaking for the most part and it's just interactions and little dalliances and flirting between the two of them.
Exactly. And then eventually, because he's been chasing her the whole movie, eventually she realizes what the nobility of him, the nobility of what he's trying to do, because she is from the society that the upper echelon of the society that created her. She thinks, well, they're right. And then eventually she sees that he's right about what he's trying to do or why he's doing the things that he's doing. And so then she comes around and then like all her feelings for that she's been kind of maybe sitting on or didn't want to recognize that were there for her about Wall-E comes streaming back when she thinks he's been shut down or she thinks he's dead, which is really incredible. I mean, it's extensive how evil the film is in certain moments. About
Pixar
trying
does
to
that a
kill
lot.
him. Yeah, they really do.
It
They
makes
like
for
to
very
walk you
successful
close.
films more often than not.
Agreed.
Yeah, where they don't shy away from trying to take the punch.
Yeah.
And
But then making this really strong statement, and I know you may not like the second half of the film, but like it's still a strong statement about the fact that we do have a tendency to get lazy as fuck.
Oh yeah, no,
we're getting lazier and lazier.
I get it. It just
Is
it
too
just
much
seemed
of
to
the-
browbeat
Oh yeah, okay.
for half the movie, and just like I understand the story that you're telling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not lost on me.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't care for the execution of it, but
Okay.
I know that I'm in the minority. Everybody that likes Pixar loves this movie.
Yeah.
It's just not one of my favorites.
Well, the fact that it was on your 10,
It's just because that's a future dystopia that could very likely be an outcome of ours.
Absolutely.
And that's why, just for a lot of other ones are these grandiose and unrealistic, could hypothetically happen, whereas that one's like, shit, that's pretty real. That almost hurts. Like that's an insult that cuts deep enough because the person knows you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you got through the armor. Those are when it's like that hurts. That hurts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. So then, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Dread.
That's a punt.
Is it?
Yes, it
I
is.
struggled with. I was like, can I?
Yes, it is.
Can I? Because anyway, I love this film. This easily could have been higher, but I was struggling with am I fudging with the definition too much in my head?
No, it's dystopian.
Okay, so my number 6 is Looper.
Oh, nice choice.
It's one of the few. I think it's only one of 2 or 3 that we've really talked about.
Okay.
A few times.
Okay.
Looper just came up.
Yeah.
But it's set in the future, and it's technologically dystopian in that we have finally attained time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And the only use of it outside of potentially government that we don't know about is this crime syndicate that has it and uses it for these purposes where they send back hitmen to be killed once basically they can't cover their tracks up anymore and they become too much of collateral to take out the overall organization.
Yeah.
That's the only use of this amazing thing that we've been theorizing about ever since we got above a certain point in physics. It's just like, oh, the potential of this is actually true, and theoretically it's possible. And now we managed to come up with the technology, and this is what it's fucking used for.
Yep.
It's just so devilish of taking something that's an idealistic idea within scientific community and be like, wow, what if time travel was true? And what would you use it for? Would you go back to kill Hitler type of thing?
Right.
And instead, nope, it's used by crime syndicates for this. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Outside of whatever the government may be using it. There's no way a government knows about this and doesn't use it.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Yeah. Even if everybody swears by some new Geneva convention that they won't use it, somebody is going to use this. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, and I love Emily Blunt in the movie. I think as much as Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis are great in the movie, I think Emily Blunt is this fierce mama bear.
Yeah.
Is really powerful, and
she grounds the movie.
Yeah, she really does. And that kid is, without her, that kid is not in any way, shape, or form a relatable child or a understandable child or one you'd want to defend.
Exactly. One you'd want to defend is what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because without her and seeing the fact that she is just as flawed as anybody else, and she had some dumb decisions, and she made one where she gave her son up to her sister, and her sister died, and she came back to raise her son because she was a junkie before, taking the whatever drugs that everybody, the eye drops into their eyes. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine. That is a hell of a delivery system.
No shit, man.
Yeah. Instead of going intravenously.
I know someone's trying to figure that out. I know someone in this planet's trying to figure that out.
How that doesn't destroy your eyes so quickly is beyond me.
Right.
But anyway, but without her, then there's no reason to not have the argument of going back to kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Because you see her and be like, what if she can get it right? Now knowing the information that she has now, can she alter the future? Please if you don't give him a chance, basically you're saying you wouldn't have given me a chance, that my life is meaningless.
Right.
And I need to prove to myself that my life has meaning through him. Mm-hmm. And how can you deny someone that?
Well, that's why they say the best, obviously with the AA or any kind of addiction recovery situation is having a sponsor who has been through it, because they have the shorthand, they have the ability to understand you, and they know what you're going through and can speak to you in a certain way to get you out of it if you really want to get out of it in the spiral or whatever, Yeah. And so same thing.
The reason for your addiction may be different, but the motivating emotional factors are the same.
Right. And you serve as an example of, well, if that person got out, I can get out. And that's
hopefully.
Hopefully. And that's what Emily Blunt is saying. It's like, well, if you I was useless and I was able to bounce back. Nothing about my kid's future is determined yet. And I can change it. You got to let me change it, though. And that's what she's begging him to do through the latter half of the movie, is Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whoever's there. Like, she's begging them to let her raise the child and hopefully not have him end up the way they think he might end up.
What happens to, like, the other kids that Bruce Willis kills?
Yeah.
Who would they have been?
Yeah.
What did you alter in the future now because those kids aren't around? Mm-hmm. What if one of those kids cured, the planet, the ills of the planet it's going through? You have no idea.
It's that Back to the Future thing, man. Like, who's still in the picture, who's not in the picture?
What is the ripple effect of what you're doing now?
Exactly.
Because you don't know specifically. You just know, hey, the kid was born at this hospital on this date.
Right.
At some between these times or whatever the case is. I can't remember the specific window of time he's looking for, but it's at least the day. And he's got a list.
I mean, he's essentially a Terminator.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor. I have to find Sarah Connor. Mm-hmm. I don't know which Sarah Connor it is, but I know she's in this city and I got to go find her.
Happens to be the last on his list.
Yeah, exactly. Just happens to be. All right, yeah. All right, so that was your number 7 or number 6?
That was my number 6.
Okay. So my number 7 is Total Recall. Is that on your list at all?
That was a tough cut.
You had to cut it.
That was the last fighting out. Like, am I going to put this on? Am I not? Am I? Yeah. There's a lot. There was a lot to choose from.
I had to put it on because I almost never put it on any of our lists.
That's why it almost made my list.
Yeah.
Literally, it was that or Elysium, and I was like,
yeah. Well,
maybe he's got Total Recall.
Yeah. And I do, and I, it's one that I still can occasionally watch.
Okay.
I know a lot of people love this movie. They love
Yeah.
the cheesiness of it. They love they quote lines all the time, and Schwarzenegger is really funny in moments in the movie. My name is not Quad, all that kind of shit that he's doing, and the weird designs of the creatures on
Quado.
the future.
Quado is what sticks with
Quado.
me, and just him going Quaid, Quaid. That's what always sticks out, and that's where I like the campiness.
Yes.
That's where I think the movie does really well. Or
Yeah.
like a six-breasted woman for no reason.
Yeah.
No
nothing at
reason
all.
whatsoever.
Well,
Or a cyclops.
that's the hubris of our time, I guess.
I think it's more so they steered into the campy.
Right.
Like the people that defend it and love it, I understand. I wish it spoke to me like that.
Yeah.
But it's still like at moments really does work for me. I don't hate the film. It just its campiness doesn't. It lands in a realm of action campiness.
Yeah.
And there are others within that realm that I prefer over it.
That's fair.
But it's still good. I get it. It's just like give me Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Give me other campy. Trust me, I like campy. It just sometimes they speak to me more than others.
That's understood. Yeah, and I really enjoy this one and the
Or yeah, like
the
Big
stuff,
Trouble.
The stuff with Sharon Stone. Oh yeah, Big Trouble. The stuff with Sharon Stone, the stuff with Terry Hatch, like all that's fun to watch and see. And then you have Rachel Tickerton, who's there, and she had a little bit of a mini run there, Rachel Tickerton, and being in these movies and kind of being seen as someone to
In this era.
yeah, in this era, because then she ends up, I think, in Con Air just a couple of years later. So you have, and I enjoy the process of the film because it's actually the film is way more intelligent than people think it is, and
It's
I like that.
Way more so than I thought it was the first time I saw it.
Yeah, yeah,
I just thought it was a straightforward action film, and then years later
yeah,
understood the philosophical question that was actually being asked of what's real and what isn't, and trying to figure that out. Like I got that plot, but I didn't get that plot kind
Right.
of thing. I didn't hear Jimmy. You know what I mean?
It's right.
At that time, I was young. I think I was like 13 or 14 or whatever the case
you were
was when I
listening
saw
to
this.
Jimmy. He didn't hear
Exactly.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Later on, I could hear Jimmy. Here's a movie we don't ever talk about.
Well, maybe it's coming
Maybe
up.
one day.
Maybe it's coming up.
Maybe one day.
But yeah, and so yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You guys have listened to the I'm sure you've watched Total Recall. I can't imagine that most of our audience hasn't, and so you get it. And it's an enjoyable film, and it's one that you can go back and rewatch and actually kind of see some shades of what's happening in our world every single decade.
So, as someone that's more than likely watched it more times than I have, although it was on like TNT and TBS for years.
Oh, yeah.
So I've caught it in 30-minute chunks.
Yeah.
Like numerous different parts. I've seen the whole thing. If you collectively put it all together,
Yeah.
probably like 20 times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But sat down and actually watched through and tried to make a conscious choice. I don't know, like 3-4 times.
Okay.
Do you think it was real or not?
No.
Do you think it was all in his mind and it
Yes.
was a recall
Yeah.
in and of himself and he's just there enjoying the journey?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, let me bring something up to you. I just heard this the other day because we just did Gladiator on the Cinephiles, and I was just doing some research on it, and I read someone's theory that he dies
Before he kills?
at the grave of his child and his wife.
Yeah.
That what happens afterwards is all a fever dream
Before he dies?
before he dies, because the next shot of him is him like floating.
Well, isn't it him walking through the fields? And you
Right.
get that, oh, hey. and the wheat is hitting his hand.
Exactly.
Is that the next scene? I
The
need to
Hans
now.
Zimmer
Now I
score.
want to watch it.
That he's floating, and then you hear the sounds because it's black, and then you hear sounds in the black, and then he's floating, and then you see these images of Jum and Hansu checking on him. And
I mean, look, he
maggots.
gets a hell of an exit
That's what I'm saying.
from this world.
It's an incredible. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing, everything works out for him the whole way through up until the end, and he even
From that
gets
point,
his
yeah.
revenge and can die in peace. Like he gets his revenge in his mind,
And he gets a hero's death.
and he gets to go see his wife and his kid. Mm-hmm. So I read
That's
that theory,
interesting.
and I was like, God damn, that is not a bad fucking theory.
I will have
man.
to watch it now and see if that speaks to me.
There are a few movies where people say, "Oh, it's all in their head," and they
Yeah.
actually never got out, and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." So anyway, yeah. All right. So that was what number.
What number was that for you? I forget.
My number 7, I think. Night, Frank. See you, brother.
What do
so
you
then
got at 6?
My number 6 is an anime special, Akira,
Okay.
as Emma Fife would say. Dude, I love this movie. And
Never seen it.
And really, Matt, I think you'd actually. It's not one of these like standard anime things.
I've
It's
seen
a
Ghost in
deeper
the
context to it.
Shell.
Ghost in the Shell is great.
I've seen a couple here and there, but I don't think I've seen Akira. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Or is it Akira?
I think it's Akira, as
Okay.
Emma tried to show off and show me. But
Yeah, I don't know if the accent is on the R or the A.
Yeah.
Akira or Akira.
she was, remember that Vanessa Bayer skit that they did with the Japanese, where they would speak like, you never seen that? Okay.
I don't
It's
think
a
so.
very funny skit that they would do at SNL. These two white kids trying to talk Japanese and be like a Japanese show. And it was for a project for their university. And
Never.
you never saw
that.
this? It's very funny. It's very funny. Anyway, so anyway, the film itself is a post-apocalyptic film. They have these motorcycle technology. All this stuff is happening after this nuclear war, and he's like becoming this power. And they're two friends, Tetsuo and Akira, and they have this whole relationship about what's going on, and they're part of this biker gang. And then all this stuff starts to happen. He starts to get these mental powers that he can do these things and cause destruction and
Okay.
all this kind of shit. And it's the technology of it all, how it's occurring within, like, essentially like a Blade Runner world. You know what I'm saying? In the future, Asian kind of world, and all this stuff is happening. And so it's phenomenal exploration of not just friendship, but also what your responsibility is when your friend becomes what he's becoming. What's your responsibility to the situation, since you know the best, and you're probably the one who can get the closest to be able to stop this from happening.
Okay.
And he essentially becomes a human nuclear bomb. And what he can do to the society, what he can do to buildings, what he can do to people when he gets enraged because he starts to see the joke that society is, the contract that we've all signed, the lie that it really is.
Yeah.
And so it explores that throughout the whole film. So it's a fantastic anime that isn't just, acting weird and yelling things out and having big eyes. It's so much more. It speaks about so much more. And so that's why I like the film as much as I do, and why I was excited to put it on this list as high as it is.
Yeah, it's one that I should have seen by now.
Yeah, I can't.
Because I've seen
yeah.
a bunch of, not a bunch, because I don't really watch anime, but I've seen a ton of the Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And I've seen, Ghost in the Shell. I've seen a couple others because I've got a friend, or had a friend. I haven't spoken to him in years, but in my early 20s, and he was into that stuff. So he'd give it to me on burned DVDs. Hey, watch this. He'd like give me a stack
Right.
of stuff. And some I'd seen, some I'd not. He was my introduction to like Memento I got from him.
Oh,
and
Memento, yeah.
like 20 other films.
Yeah.
He'd just give me stacks of DVDs every once and again.
Yeah.
So he'd pepper in some Studio Ghibli and Ghost in the Shell and a few other things every once and again.
If you ever see the sequel to Ghost of Shell, it's Innocence, Ghost of Shell 2, Innocence, it's a noir. It's a detective noir film. It is fucking choice, man. Anyway, yep. All right, so what's your number 5?
My number 5, maybe a punt.
Ooh.
Minority Report.
That is my number 4. Boom.
Perfect timing for it.
All right.
Perfect timing for it.
Go ahead.
It's one we haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Yeah. I think not since the Spielberg movie that we've talked about, the top 10 Spielberg movies that we've talked about this movie.
Okay.
Has it been longer?
I don't know.
Or
I'll
Tom
take
Cruise
your word
films.
for it.
Maybe Tom Cruise films. Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It would have come up on both. I could see it coming up on others as well. It's a really good movie.
Yes, I agree.
And an all too believable future of driverless cars and advertisers that are doing iris scans
Yes.
to target their ads specifically to, hey, John Roca, have you thought about going to the Caribbean? And within that context, the stretch now is we have individuals that are precognitive is what they call them, precogs.
Yep. Precogs, yep.
Who can see things in the future, and one is better than the other two.
Right.
But they can see crimes before they happen to a certain probability, and that probability is good enough for this government to then put that person in basically a cryo sleep for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
You get tried, convicted, and hanged.
Yeah.
And before you've ever actually technically done anything. And it's for, they've in the District of Columbia, they've eliminated murder kind of thing. You're like, yeah, but what happens when you do that to the one individual that didn't or wouldn't have?
That's always our human concern, isn't
Yeah.
it? People go, I want the death penalty. Yeah, but what about the one person that's wrongly convicted and that you kill in the death penalty?
Exactly.
Does that person weigh more than the 75 people you convict correctly and kill correctly because they carried out terrible things?
I think it does, because
Yeah.
the only true precious commodity we have is
Yeah.
life and time.
Right.
So if you deprive someone of that, that's the only thing you can never give back. You can take somebody's money, you can give it back.
Sure.
You can take somebody's, there are other things like you take their leg or a family member or
Right,
something
right,
like that. But I'm saying in terms of the context of what we're talking about, So to me, I think that's the only egregious thing. Mm-hmm. So if we take someone's life and they did nothing wrong,
Yeah.
like I read an account of a guy was murdered a few years ago, and now through I think it was DNA, we figured out that he didn't kill his wife and then kill his kids and set the house on fire or something like that. I think it was in Texas.
Wow.
And he proclaimed his innocence the entire time.
Right.
And he was killed, and it comes out years later that actually this guy did nothing. So this guy died thinking that everybody assumed he killed his entire family.
Yeah.
And then like burnt the house down.
It's terrible, man.
It's terrible.
Yep.
And he got killed for it.
Yeah.
That is a brutal.
Almost worse. Right, that he got killed for it as well.
I'm sure for him, it's
The
the fact
experience
that
of losing everybody, and then now he can't even like.
more so for him of A, I get held up to this, but B, that
Yeah.
person is still out there.
Oh yes.
You didn't bring to justice the person that actually did this.
Yep.
And I would gladly trade my life to watch that son of a bitch die.
It's a burn.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
So just like to see that, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Why don't we just put, instead of on death row, then we put them all in tiny little cages.
Right.
Like make their lives truly hell. Yeah. And that's tough for me too, but that to me at least is like, that's worse than death.
Yeah.
And what these people did is they did the worst thing possible. So why don't we, why don't we make their lives a living hell until they leave,
Yeah.
this earth?
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems cruel and unusual as well. But at the same time, killing somebody I don't think is ever really the answer.
Yeah.
But that's easy to say, never having gone through that, never
Right.
experienced.
Of course.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was your number what? 5?
That was my number 5. And
Okay,
that was your
so-
4, correct?
Yeah, my number 4. So then my number 5 is the punt from earlier, Dread.
Oh, my 7.
Yeah, you're 7.
Yeah, because there was an atomic war. They created a wasteland over, we don't know how big it is, but
Yep.
most of the U.S., it appears. And then the technology is so to save themselves, they made these mega cities.
Yep.
And they're so big that you have a law force that is judge, jury, and executioner.
Exactly.
And you kind of need it.
Yeah.
Because the place they go to is just one apartment complex, technically, and there's tens of thousands of people that live here.
Yeah.
And Mao Mao is the one that actually runs this.
Yep.
She is the law.
Yep. Lena Headey is so good in this movie
Yeah.
and so unsettling. And you get like a window into what she was going to bring into Cersei in Game of Thrones. Like you get.
She got this after Game of Thrones.
I thought it was before.
She got this after.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at the timeline.
No, I'm sure you're right.
You keep talking, but it
Well,
was
maybe
Game of
you're right.
Thrones maybe a year or two, and then it was
Maybe
Judge
the
Dredd.
season, huh? Okay, maybe the first season. Then she got on Judge Dredd, or Dredd rather. But when did she start shooting it? Maybe she started shooting this before Game of Thrones. You never know.
Look, I'm just looking it up on IMDb.
All right. Either way, everybody knows who knows the Schmodown knows that I lost to Sam Levine on this question because I said Lena Headey instead of Headey. Really, it's a ridiculous splitting of the hairs, but she's so good in this movie, and Carl Urban is fantastic. In
Carl Urban is awesome.
Dredd, and Urban
Awesome.
is great at playing
Everything.
status. Right? He can play the highest
Dude.
form. He can play the lowest form,
And it seems
and
as
everything in
though
between.
he never cares.
Nope.
So he's Bones,
Yep.
but he's also like 17th fiddle in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And then,
He's Scourge in Thor Ragnarok. He's
Yes.
the whiny Scourge in Thor Ragnarok.
it's always, it seems as though he's just down to put in a great performance every
Yes.
time. I've never seen him in, I like him so much. I watched that mediocre Fox show where he's a future cop
Oh yeah.
type of thing. I wanted that to succeed.
right.
I wanted that to succeed because
Yeah.
I think he's always so good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this came out 2012. Game of Thrones came out 2011.
Damn it.
Which
All
means
right.
they were shooting Thrones in 10. There's no way they were
Yeah.
shooting Dredd in 10, and they sat on
yeah.
it for 2 years.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
So,
That's true. All right, fine.
yeah.
Either way, we saw her come into her own as an evil villain.
Yeah.
Because I mean, because I think before.
Well, she hadn't even become Cersei, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
We hadn't seen the depths and the vileness that character could spew.
I think it was the last time. Because the first time I saw her, I think was in 300, if I remember correctly.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's the wife of Jar Butler in the film. She's badass in the film. I like that they brought her back for the sequel.
King
too.
Leonidas.
Leonidas. I like they brought her back for the sequel. They gave her a couple scenes in the sequel. It was
I never
really
saw
fun.
the sequel.
Great. Hey man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Sure.
I thought
It's
the
a great
first
sex
one-
scene with Eva Green is fantastic.
Yeah, but Ava Green seems like she's looking for projects where she gets to show her top.
She does enjoy having sex on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the film, it's people say that the film didn't make as much because Raid came out about the same time.
It did. Raid came out like a couple months before, at least in the U.S.
Yep.
The release was like 3 months before. And I remember when I saw Dread,
Yeah.
because I saw Raid, a friend of mine who never gives movie recommendations was like, dude, do yourself. I didn't know that he did the same thing I did, which is Mondays, Tuesdays, nobody's at the theater, go see a movie.
Yeah,
he's
makes
a fellow comic. Right. I had no idea, but he only goes for things like The Raid.
Right.
That's what he wants to see, is like, smaller kind of stuff. And
Right.
He's like, dude, trust me, go see this. So it did make me go, shit, I just saw this story, but it's so beautifully shot.
Yeah,
it has
it is.
such a great sense of itself and the world it's creating.
And one of the best uses of slow motion I've ever
yeah.
seen in films. Sometimes directors don't even know how to use slow motion. I feel that way about, listen to this, I know people can get mad at me again, but I feel that way about Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. When he uses slow motion, I get so fucking mad. I don't like it. That whole kind of fuzzy moving around, I just hate it. But some people know how to use slow motion. And in this movie, in Dread, which Carl Urban came out recently in an interview and said Alex Garland actually directed the movie, that the credited person did not direct the movie, that it was Alex Garland. And that was the rumor, that Alex Garland had been on set, was co-directing the movie essentially, and then they shut out the person who's credited with directing the movie. They shut him out of the editing bay, and Alex Garland edited the movie. So this is essentially his first movie.
Huh.
So it's really interesting.
Well, he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Fuck yeah, he did. And when you hear that news and you go back and watch the movie, I guarantee you watch the movie going, holy shit, yeah, this is exactly like what we saw in Ex Machina, what we saw in Annihilation. It's Garland has a certain style to him when he does these kinds of movies.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, Matt, that more people haven't seen this movie. And those of us who are hardcore superhero or comic book fans, we love this movie.
The best part is, it's a phenomenally simple and amazing premise.
Yep.
It's just, this massive complex has blast doors.
Yep.
Can shut down in case of whatever is coming. To get to the state that they're at, these people had to live through a nuclear winter or a nuclear holocaust across ostensibly, potentially, the entire world. Although they called this Mega City 1, which implies there are other mega cities.
Right.
I think it was Mega City 1.
Yeah.
Do they give a scope as to how big it is? I think they do.
Not that I can recall.
But I don't
and I'm
remember
sure they probably
definitive
do.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's just huge.
Yeah.
It's basically like with Demolition Man, Los Angeles is spread into San Diego type of.
Right.
Like, it just takes up this huge land mass, and they've got a big wall around it, and on the outside is the wastelands. Such a great premise. Such a great premise.
I agree.
But in this, so they have the blast shields, and the blast shields go down, and Mao runs, this world.
Yeah.
You may run the outside world. She runs the inside world.
She's such a badass, man.
Yeah.
And the whole the colors are incredible. The yellows and the greens through the whole thing. What happened? The fact that he never takes his mask
Damn
off.
straight.
And that's
Dredd doesn't take his
Dredd
mask off.
doesn't, right? In the comics, he does not do it.
No.
And I was really
He's a judge. Judges are faceless, kind of guys extolling the law.
Exactly. And like he's carrying he's helping his partner through the situation. What happens to her? All the stuff that happens going on. Like, all the deaths are incredible, man. And the way they make you experience the drug that you're taking,
The slow-mo drug.
Oh,
And the way that they
phenomenal.
then turn that, like, on the first time, hey, should I give him a slow-mo before we throw him off this balcony?
Right. Oh.
And you see the first, like, second and a half of him dropping, but in his mind, that took 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like, what a terrible way to die. What a terrible way to die. What is probably like a 7-second fall, 10-second fall, is in your mind going to take minutes of agonizing, holy shit.
And there's no way out of it.
Nope.
Oh, it's the worst. But anyway, just a really incredible film. And if you haven't seen it, finally go rent it and watch it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And it's one of those of Urban has been trying to, because it'll crop up every couple of years. And
Yeah.
they're talking about bringing Dredd back. And I've seen people asking that question, and he'll be like, I'd love to do a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do a TV series. I'll do anything. This project, like, there's a lot of potential here.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they do. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? There's like 3 or 4 things in my life now. They're talking about bringing this back.
If Netflix did a Dredd series with him as Dredd, I would be happy as hell, man. They say they have $8 billion to spend this year. Go fucking do a Dredd TV series. Trust me, people will watch it. That's my 2 cents. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, that's a punt, son.
Is it a punt?
That's a goddamn punt.
I think it's going to creep higher over the years.
All right.
Just because I've only seen it once,
Okay.
and that's why it's at its placement now.
No, we already did my number 4, so what's
Okay.
your number 3?
So my number 3 is Snowpiercer.
Ooh.
So-
Interesting choice, man.
It was climate change, and for
Damn.
humans to combat climate change, we
Okay.
basically froze the Earth, and we went too far.
Okay.
And now, so the technology is what created the dystopia.
Right.
The technology got us into a place of climate change, and
Yep.
then we tried to over-technologically correct
Okay.
and screwed ourselves even further. And now, basically, as far as we know, all of humanity exists on this train that is stratified into the different societal strata.
Yeah.
You have your upper 1%, and then you got the upper middle class below that,
Right.
middle class, and then the working class underneath. And they're in the back eating the cockroach paste or whatever that shit is. And eventually...
It was baby paste, wasn't it? Babies?
Oh, I thought
Paste made out
they
of
churned
babies?
up. Don't they go over
Was
like
it
a grinder at one
cockroaches?
point, and it was like bugs and all that stuff, and they were
okay.
turning it into like bar kind of form.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe it was. I thought it was babies. But
I'm
maybe
sure
you're
they eventually do maybe throw in a couple babies. I could swear though there was a shot of like bugs being ground up
right. Yeah, you might be
into.
right. But it's an interesting expression. It all happens on a train.
Yeah,
The visual aspect of it is incredible, especially at the end when they walk out and if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it too much, but when they walk out and see what they see, the experience of that's incredible in the snow, whatever, like all that's phenomenal.
even
And then the discussion between Ed Harris and, what happens between Ed Harris and
and why things are the way they are.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're trying to understand the perspective of somebody that has created this reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I don't agree with him, but I understand the choices the character felt that he had to make,
Right.
and why things are the way they are. But I love it. It's kind of akin to our Thunderdome, where this is a ship,
Yeah.
and like when Tilda Swinton, I think it's Tilda Swinton, isn't it?
Yeah.
She has to dole out justice,
Mm-hmm.
and the way they do that with the dude's arm
Yeah.
is just
Oh, yeah.
great. It's just great.
Which is Patty Considine. That actor's Patty Considine.
Okay.
Yeah. In Cinderella Man, he's the guy who tries to save
Oh yeah.
downtown. Yeah, that's him. That's
Yeah.
Patty Considine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good pull on his name.
Oh well. The fights are incredible too, man. When they turn the lights off and they battle with the dark. All
Yeah,
those guys.
that's where you could tell
That's
it was
awesome.
an Asian director.
Yeah.
Every time those happen, it'd be like
Yes.
this very much reminds me of like a Train to what is it?
Train to Busan.
Busa.
Yeah.
I watched that.
It is a Korean director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, you saw it.
Yes.
And
It's good.
you're right.
It's good.
I told you. That's a damn good movie, man.
It is.
Surprisingly so. People had to talk me into it, man. So I'm glad you gave it a shot.
I like that. Whereas like for this, I watched Battle Royale.
Battle Royale's great.
I thought it was okay.
What?
I thought it was okay.
Maybe it's because you didn't maybe you didn't watch it like late. Like I watched it like years ago when it first came over from Japan.
Okay.
On a VHS copy. A friend of mine who was an avid Japanese guy, or avid Japanese fan of that cinema. He got me a copy of it, and I watched it on VHS, and it's incredible for what it was exploring in the early 2000s.
True.
Now, if you watch in 2018, it's not as resonant, or 2017.
I
It's not as
think it's
resonant,
more
but,
so the hairstyles take you out of it at
Oh,
times.
yeah.
It feels very dated. It feels more 90s to me than it does early 2000s.
That's fair.
And also sometimes the acting. Mm-hmm. Some of the actors are
It's
really
a bit
good.
over the top.
Yeah, and some of them are just like,
Yeah.
they need 40-something kids.
Yeah.
So not all of them are going to be, Olivier.
Right.
It's just rule of numbers here.
Yeah. But I love Beat Takashi in it too. Takashi Kitano, Beat Takashi. He's great. There's the guy who runs it all. Like
Their former teacher?
Yeah, in the sweat, in the workout suit.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Oh, he's so good. If you go and watch his movies are incredible, man. Just hardcore action, Yakuza type films. They're badass films, man.
But yeah, if you skipped over Snowpiercer,
Yeah.
because it was one of those movies every year that happens where sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. Where the buzz is really good from people that I know that go see movies, and they're like, "Go see it," and I'm for whatever reason I can't make it out to the theater, so it's one of those I always promise myself when that comes out streaming, I will pay for that and
Yeah.
get the streaming version of it. And that year I just happened to, I got free time. I will go on this. It's like when I saw The Raid, it's just like, I got time right now. I got a Tuesday. I'll just go in the middle of the day.
Yeah. I got to talk myself into that sequel one day.
It's good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I
It's
like
a
the
little long, but it's good.
It's long. I know some people prefer it to the first one, but the first one to me was just out of nowhere.
I agree. That was your number 3?
That was my 3.
So then my 3 is, here we get to the boring part of my list, and I apologize ahead of time. Blade Runner is my number 3, the original Blade Runner.
Oh, so you have both.
I do.
Okay.
It's my...
I made a choice, and I prefer the new one. That's my favorite of the two now. Even after one viewing, I'm like, this thing's got legs. I can't wait to watch it again, but I've only seen it once.
I respect that, absolutely, Matt. But for me, I have just an overwhelming love for this film, and I can't...
You're not alone.
Yeah, I can't... I couldn't take it off, and... I mean, I had to take another one off that it was really hard for me to take off, but I took it off because we'd already talked about it. But Blade Runner is just what it shows. And for me, it's still a film that I can watch and get something out of every single time. And depending on where I'm at in my life. And so that's what I love about the film. It still holds up for me. Harrison Ford's performance is great. I mean, fuck, man. We're going to talk about 2049, but that scene where that person comes back from the first movie, his reaction to it does not work if the first movie isn't as powerful as it is. And that's what I love about that first movie. And it still holds up, and it still feels like it could happen in our future, even though it was shot in 1982.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's really incredible.
It's tough for movies sometimes to forecast out because, like, sometimes the technology is so glaringly ridiculous. It's just like, I can't believe you guys.
Right.
The choices they made to show that it was futuristic were all really smart.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like, you know, some of the technology doesn't really hold up, the aesthetic of the choice, I appreciate.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to, like, sometimes Terry Gilliam goes for more like a steampunk version of a futuristic version of a dystopian.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, that to me seems more... It takes me out of the element of the movie, whereas within Blade Runner, like when they focus on the irises, that little machine, why would you create that in the future? But I like all the choices and the aesthetic of it, that it's just like, the future could have gone a different way.
Yeah.
And this could be that version of it. So I appreciate it for that.
I just fact that, like, it's shot in 1982, and it still could be, it could look like it's shot in 2018.
Yeah, and a lot of shots.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. And the iris thing makes sense because now I got the iPhone 10. Like, it opens by scanning my face.
Can you
I don't
turn
have
that
to
off?
swipe up. Yeah, you can if you like, sure.
Yeah.
But like the fact that I don't have to hit buttons to open it, and I can just hold the phone in front of my face, it reads my face and opens. It's that technology. It's 36 years ago, and yet here it is. It's really happening. It's phenomenal to me how timeless the film is. I know you do. I know. That's why you and I are different in that way. Yeah.
When have I ever talked about that? I like the I know you do. You do that quite a bit because you're a nice man.
No, I mean, we just approach the world in different ways because, like, you like your privacy. You like to have the things when you're ready to give them.
Yeah,
I'm more of an open in that way, for better or worse.
But that is not my choice because, okay, it's scanning my likeness. Well, it's what computer scans takes the time to scan. It doesn't store that information. Mm-hmm. And where is that stored information going? And I have no say over where that stored information is going.
You like that.
It's like the thumbprint scan before.
Yeah.
Are they taking that fingerprint? We're basically fingerprinting ourselves every day, and they're updating it, whether there's scars or whatnot. And now, is that part of some NSA database I don't know about?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have those fears. And
it's
I was
not really
in military intelligence.
That's a question I want answered.
That's fair.
I guess you could boil that down to ultimately, is it a fear?
It's not a criticism.
Look, I have Scotch tape over the stupid little camera on my laptop.
I know you do.
Because apparently whenever anybody wanted to, they could hack the camera on that and just, stare at the sad man masturbating. That's what it boils down to on that one.
But that's my point, though, is like me and you are different in that way. That's why I was saying, like, it's like, I get why you approach the world the way you approach the world, and that's why our show works as well, because we're two different people who approach the world in different places. And I was in military intelligence. If anyone should be paranoid about this shit, it should be me. But I'm not, because I'm like, there's nothing I can fucking do about it. If they want to find me, they'll find me. If they want to scan my face, they'll scan it. There's a million things I do in regular life that they can find a way to just fucking put me in a database. So for me, it's like people who
I just hate that we're actively helping them.
I know. I get it. It's like people who do Purell. I never do hand sanitizer. And I get sick maybe once a year, rather.
Depending on where I go.
Yeah.
Like,
I wash my hands, but I don't need to do that hand sanitizer shit. That to me is like the extra... Too much. It's too much. I like being able to trust my body can fight off whatever.
Well, like usually, whenever I show up here, I usually have a drink from 7-Eleven because it's right next to my house.
Right.
And it's just easy to grab. Yep. I go into a 7-Eleven. I Purell my hands afterwards.
Do you really?
Well, because homeless people hang out in
Sure.
front of one out of every 3 7-Elevens.
That's fair.
Not the one by my house, thank God. But if you're in West Hollywood,
Yeah.
up in Studio
Certainly
City,
in Hollywood.
Santa Monica, like Venice, anywhere, any of those areas,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a homeless guy standing outside asking for change.
Fair enough.
That means he's been inside.
Yeah.
God knows how many other vagrants have touched
Right.
everything else in here.
True.
I'm gonna disinfect my hands after that.
That's fair.
I don't need your filth. Somewhere like here, like,
Yeah.
I go home
Collider.
from here, I'm fine.
Yeah, of course. Even though we're probably just as dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it probably is just as dirty,
Yes.
somehow in my head it's just like, yeah, but it's not homeless dirty.
But these are the
That's a different realm.
These are the conversations you have in your head and then the exchanges you make, compromises you make in your life. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is what I like to call a dystopia for one.
Okay.
Moon.
Ooh, listen to you.
Because of the
Trying to make this work.
Ah.
All right. All right.
technology has led the Earth to a place where our energy demands have gotten so high
Yeah.
that we need a clean source of energy. We have to have it. Otherwise, we are going to pollute ourselves out of this world.
Okay.
So we figure out fusion technology, and we need the easiest source of that is helium-3, and we can mine that very easily on the moon.
Right.
And so now we have a revolving door of a dystopia for one individual. So it's the technology that led us into this predicament, and then it has a company that creates this hell on the moon for one dude. And I apologize if you haven't seen Moon, go watch it.
You got to see it. Yeah.
It is great. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have 90 minutes for a great film?
It's 90 minutes, and you can argue in a majority of the film it's just as good as 2001, The Space Odyssey.
I think because of the compact nature of it, I prefer it more.
Yeah, fair.
Because the complexity of the story it's so simple, but at the same time, like it asks a lot of questions of you. Like your sense of identity, is it unique to you?
Yeah.
Or do you actually share that?
Yeah.
And what is that worth? And I love, spoiler alert, when he makes the phone call very later on and realizes the time,
Yeah.
and then they figure out like the number of times this has occurred already and all that, and so what is my life really worth? Because the life that it's predicated upon has moved on.
Yeah.
And did that dude even experience this? Or maybe they just took his genetic information.
That's a good point.
Did he have to go through this and then figure out the job, and then that's where they learned it? They just impregnate the memories and teach that he's incubated with the ideas already. Just like, wow, that is technology run amok, and that has made a dystopia for just this one recurring dude over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's the technology that led to the technology that created the dystopia.
That's fair.
And that's how I got to it. That's always, once again, the fluid definition.
I feel like you've been defending this choice since the beginning of the episode.
This is what I struggled with going through. It's like, because I just sat down to do this today. Usually, if I wasn't so busy, I'll start like the list in my head days before. So I've already rectified and come up with the definition
Right.
long before. And so today was like, okay, so how am I going through this?
Yeah.
And that was just like, for me, technological dystopia. It's just like, well, we compounded, just like in Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
We created the technology that did it, and then the technology on top of that to try and correct the problem actually made it worse. So this is like almost a Minority Report where we're condemning someone to death before they had a say in the matter, before
Right.
anything actually happened. We're doing that to this guy using technology.
Yeah.
Just before that, it creates a philosophical question, and is he then just collateral? Is he cattle
Right.
for this company?
Right.
Does he have rights? He pricks. If you prick him, he bleeds. Obviously, we've seen one version bleed kind of profusely
Yeah. That's true.
through the latter half of this movie as his body is degrading.
It's intense, man.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I agree.
If you haven't seen Moon, go see Moon.
Yeah, and Duncan Jones, like there have been rumors or conversations where he's kind of alluded to the fact that Moon occurs in the same universe as Source Code. And that new movie of his that came out on Netflix, Mute, is part of this world as well. Like he's kind of creating these connective tissues between these worlds. And I think there's a Moon reference in Mute, I think, or a Moon reference in Source Code, but I cannot remember accurately what that is. So
Yeah, I got to assume Source Code came out because afterwards. Cause
it did. Source Code's after Moon.
Yeah, Moon came out like 2009 or something.
Yeah. All right, my number 2, once again, a boring choice. Edge of Tomorrow is my number 2 as a dystopian society because it is the technology of the aliens that motivates them to create their technology to combat the aliens. So, and they're in the future and they're in this war kind of situation. And so we've talked about it numerous times. So I don't want to bore us or the audience too much about it. But to me, it's a film that has crept into my soul and my psyche so much since I saw it. And it's one that I, at times, am unsettled to watch. But I watch it because it has so much more to say than just, oh, it's a Groundhog Day movie in sci-fi. No, there's so much more going on here. And there's so much more going on in Tom Cruise's performances than people give him credit for in this film. Emily Blunt, once again, knocking it out of the park in this film that you've never thought, or role you'd never thought you'd see her in. What Bill Paxton, the late, great Bill Paxton.
Wasn't she originally tabbed to be Black Widow?
Yes. She turned it down.
Yeah, and then you see, because she had to shoot something else.
Yeah, she chose to do something else. I think it was Gulliver's Travels, the Jack Black one. Yeah. Oh, my God. How much would she regret that, dude?
Maybe not. Maybe she doesn't have the career she has now. Maybe she doesn't get to do Looper, and she doesn't get to do other things.
Maybe.
Like still have this identity of being somebody that can pull off the art house and do the action of an Edge of Tomorrow. I'm not saying that's been taken away from Scarlett.
Right.
Because she still did her.
I just have a feeling that if Emily had done it, we'd have had a Black Widow movie by now. That's my belief. Nothing against Scarlett. I just have a belief.
Well, now that there's been a huge Wonder Woman, Black Widow's coming.
Right, they've already written the script.
Exactly,
apparently.
but that's where they're kicking themselves.
Right.
Of we already had the property.
Yeah,
we could have easily done this beforehand. Although I don't think it would succeed as well as Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman's more altruistic.
Yeah,
whereas Black Widow is a flawed character.
I think we would have. And this is my personal opinion. I think you'd have gotten a better performance of Black Widow by Emily Blunt than you got from Scarlett Johansson. My opinion, this is just my opinion, because I think Emily Blunt is an incredible actress who can play anything, and you can't poke holes in her work. And
True.
I can poke holes in Scarlett's work a lot on camera.
Still, though, you like Lucy, so
I do like Lucy. It's true, but there's a number of other films that she's in where I can see the holes in that acting coming a mile away, the tricks coming a mile away, and that bothers. Whereas with her, she's incredible in the voiceover performance with Joaquin Phoenix in her. Incredible.
Oh yeah.
I would have been happy if she got nominated for an Oscar for that.
I was close to putting that on my list.
I
was very close because, but then so the dystopias that were so secluded from one another, like we're so disaffected. Maybe the lack of human interaction is a dystopia.
Well, if you can argue Wall-E, you can argue her. That's for goddamn sure.
It was close. Look at it's on my honorable mentions. It's like I struggled with that one.
All right, so then that's my 2. Everyone knows Edge of Tomorrow, our love of that movie. What's your number 1?
Oh, so my number 1 didn't make your list.
No.
The Matrix.
No, I took it off.
That's what you took off?
Yeah, that's what I took off because we just talked about it. Because we just talked about it, and I was like, I want to give love to these other films, and I'll take the hit from the fans for not having the Matrix in this thing. But we've talked about it. Everyone knows how much we talk. So it's on your list. It's going to make our list. So it's not a big deal.
Terminator is the one that I kept off.
Yeah, fair. I did too. I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it so much.
Yeah, I don't want to talk
Whereas
about
Matrix, to me, I was like, you know what? It came up just recently, but it doesn't come up as often as like Terminator and Terminator 2.
Right.
And a few other films. It's just like, you know what? I am still fine to call The Matrix just because that's the truth. Like when you think of dystopia, it's like, wow, we created the thing that ends up taking us down and we destroyed the world around us.
Yep.
And all we're left is this we're harvested for the raw energy that we can create, even no matter how ridiculous that is.
Yeah.
Although someone hit me up on Twitter, I probably tagged you with it or in it as well, saying that the original draft of the script or one of the early ones was that it wasn't us as batteries, it was our brains as basically we were one giant computer.
Oh.
And I was like, oh yeah, if you somehow could do that, the computational power of all of our brains, if you could harness that somehow, I don't know how you do that. It's like, wow, yeah, that's a hell of a computer.
Yep.
When you add in, now we have all these processors to tap into. But I think he said in that the studio stepped in and went like, why don't we simplify that instead of making it so complex? So they instead said an energy source.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand the note. I don't agree with it as much.
Right.
Once someone pointed out, like, hey, we would make a terrible energy source. And like, yeah, when you start thinking about it and you're like, the amount of resources and everything else that it would take, it doesn't make any sense. There's so much more efficient ways to do this, especially for a computer. How have you not thought of that?
Right. That's a good point.
But the Matrix, like all these things just kept snowballing into creating, the sum of a lot of your fears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all crystallized right before you of, look, if we go down this path, we would be dumb enough to try and take out the sky.
Oh, yeah.
I think eventually maybe if you get to the point where, you know what, if we can't have it, you can't either.
Scorched earth is a human thing, man.
Yeah, it is. Just take it out. You know what Stalin did? I'll burn the fields as the Nazis are coming through. That way you have no resources.
Shit, we do it as kids. Oh, you want me to share the toy? Fuck it, I'm going to break the toy instead of sharing it.
I'm taking it, I'm going home.
Yeah. Or I'm going to break it so that neither one of us can play with it because fuck you, I don't want you playing with it. It's my toy. We do it as we never stop doing it.
Yeah, so if you have a nuclear capability to do that, eventually you're pushed to the point where we can't do this anymore. So to see all that, I'm like, once again, this is another movie where everybody that's listening to us has seen The Matrix. Yeah. You know how amazing it is. I mean, when it came out, I was expecting a good movie, and I was blown away by how truly amazing it was.
And it's still...
It is.
There's no question it still holds up.
It does.
And it still has something to say. And as we get...
it's so good, I am more than willing for you guys to go, hey, guess what? The next two didn't happen, and we're going to start over.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Which is happening.
Is it?
Yeah. We did a story on it this week at Collider. Like one of the screenwriter has already started writing the reboot. And he pitched it, and they're excited in it. And he said, I don't want to do... I love the Animatrix, he said, and I love the first movie. So those are my basis in my mind for Chris.
Those are the only two to love.
Exactly. And they're not saying that it's going to be a reboot. What they're saying is another story within the Matrix. So
yeah, since he wasn't the one.
Right. So what does that mean? Which is interesting.
Is that thereby indicating that there's another Babylon that they don't know about?
Possibly.
There could be.
Possibly.
I guess, maybe.
And another Morpheus type character. Who knows? You never know. We all
or at a different generation, because they said there have been other ones before.
Well, why wouldn't there be, Matt? Of course, because we have 10 different religions that claim their leader is the one that came to Earth and are supposed to lead us into the promised land.
How many would have this collection, like this large a cell, so to speak?
Yeah.
That could then take on the Matrix itself, and then leads to the question of, okay, well, if it's one that's existing at the same time, how do they not know about each other? Like that word doesn't travel within the Matrix, like, the terrorist action, like some news of the day type of thing.
But is it a localized Matrix within that city or that state or that area, so why would they know about another Matrix in another way, other territory on another side of the globe? That's the thing,
Yeah. How big is the Matrix?
Exactly. It's the vanity of thinking what's in front of you is actually the only and the biggest villain ever, when in fact you have no concept of what it's like on the other side of the world.
Because you don't know how far can those little... I can't remember what they're called. Yeah. They have the pads. How far can they travel?
Exactly.
They have to go through those underground tunnels. Well, eventually that shit runs out.
Right.
So maybe there's people out in some wastelands type of thing.
Exactly. Fighting their own battle against a different type of Matrix. Kind of like Cloverfield, where we have the different stories within the same universe. It's not just one creature. There's numerous places where it's happening. So
true.
Okay, so that was your number one?
That was my number one.
Okay, so my number one is pumped from earlier. Obviously, Blade Runner 2049. I didn't think you could... In any way did I think you could master the original. And fuck me if they didn't. Matt, it is an incredible film. An incredible film. And it is 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I know some people didn't make the money because it was too long for some people or whatever. It could have gone on another hour and I would not have complained.
The thing is, I don't think Blade Runner has the legs to be a huge movie.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a huge movie the first time around. It's revered and it's loved.
Yeah.
But that's not Star Wars.
Right.
That's not like you can reboot it and it's a guaranteed X.
Yeah.
So I thought it would do better than it did.
Yeah, me too, man.
But I didn't ever think it was going to be Black Panther, where it's going to be at the number one at the box office for 5 weeks straight or whatever it's at.
I think people underestimated the love that people have for Blade Runner. Like those of us who are massive fans of film or sci-fi film specifically love Blade Runner to pieces. And it has grown over the years, like as this kind of like incredible film that people love. But maybe these aren't the same people that are going to go see it multiple times, a sequel in a movie theater, to make the box office go as high as it should. It's a niche, and the film when it first came out wasn't a success either. So, and people love Blade Runner. Like there are so many people online who are mad that it didn't get nominated for a Best Picture, and it certainly deserved. And the fucking cinematographer won the Oscar for it.
Well,
so what does that tell you?
The cinematography was next level.
Stellar, man.
It was hands down the most gorgeous movie I've seen maybe since Fury Road.
That's a great point.
Where just like I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I can watch this all day long.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah. The fact that it was 2:45 didn't bother me either.
Nope.
I saw it in this string of in December when I was banging out pretty much a movie a night, and that's the reason it made my best of 2018. Is like, dude, this thing is standing head and shoulders above all ton of Oscar fare that I watched.
Yeah,
it's like this, the pacing of it. I love the dystopia of the future that they're creating.
Yep.
And I know that some people felt that it was misogynistic, or that they were relegating women to being sexualized objects within it. Like, I get the point of your attack, but I think your attack is incorrect.
Well, yeah. How do you explain Robin Wright?
Yeah.
How do you explain the female replicant that is killing every and anything?
And I also think that the experience is fictitious because it is fictitious because they're creating it because people are so disjointed and removed from society and actually interacting with other individuals that they have to give them these manufactured realities to keep them happy. Like all our lives are so compartmentalized that we don't interact and can't lead rich, fulfilling lives. So to keep people happy, you have to. I mean, there was a hole in the market and it was filled, kind of thing.
Agreed.
It makes sense to me once you see the worlds they've created. Like, you can interact with no one if you wanted to for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you would need companionship, otherwise you go, Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it's no different than it's a version of the Wall-E and the cockroach. Like that thing is not real. That thing is not real. What you're creating, it is a program. It's no different than Scarlett Johansson and Her. That is a program that is designed to meet your needs.
It is. It's
make
Wilson,
you fall in love with it and do whatever. Yeah.
It's the robot in Moon that's voiced by Kevin Spacey. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What is it? It starts with a G or something, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Or like the robot in. Well, no, I guess that's in Moon. Yeah, it's only in Moon. I was going to compare it to the Interstellar robot, but that's not. That's a real robot.
Well, this is a real robot, Moon. It's part of the ship, or part of the base.
I thought it was part of his.
No. It's part of the base.
Okay.
It's running things like it's solely there to keep him alive.
Right.
Okay. That's why it ends up helping him.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Christopher Plummer's going to redo those lines.
Is he going to go back and just scrub him out of movie history?
And by the way, let's get something real fucking straight between our fan. Listen. I know people are like, oh, Christopher Plummer, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stories about Plummer being a massive cock when he was younger. So people shouldn't just jump up and be like, oh, yeah, replacing Kevin Spacey. That's so great. He's such a dick. Plummer was kind of a dick, too. And so I'm kind of a little tired of hearing all this stuff of people like, oh, we replaced Spacey's. I get it. Spacey was an asshole and certainly a sexual assaulting person. But you don't know Plummer's history. And there are plenty of people in interviews who allude to the fact that he was a very arrogant, misogynistic jerk. Look, so enough with this shit. I just tried to get it off my chest.
He came from a different time.
Yeah,
he did. Look, there's that Sean Connery interview where he's like, sometimes you need to slap a woman.
Yeah, it's true. Connery,
with Barbara Walters from like 25 years ago.
Yeah, man.
And he says it with a way of like, how dare you even ask me that question?
Right.
Like genuinely, there's an undercurrent of pissed within that. And you're like, Jesus, Sean.
Yeah.
Like whatever likability you have is melting away.
Yeah.
I still love Hunt for Red October and Last Crusade and his James Bonds and Yeah, you can't.
It's the minefield we all have to walk, right? Because we're human beings and they're human beings, and not everyone's going to be Tom Hanks. The world's not full of fucking Tom Hanks.
And guess what? Somebody out there hates Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
somebody out there has a story that
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I've said it on the show before. Somebody hated Mother Teresa.
Yeah,
they thought she was a bitch.
That bitch.
100%. I will guarantee you that. Or strike me down where I sit right now as we record this if I am wrong.
Yeah.
someone thought she was a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Woman was one of the few people that was instantly canonized. It's
Someone
just
who was like, I do just as much as she does.
exactly.
What the fuck?
Or they had a business that she shut down,
Yeah.
and they hated her for that because they had to live through some of the changes that she helped to, like, you know, dealing with people in poverty. Well, they were some of the people that helped keep those people in poverty, or were taking advantage of them in their terrible state and are not happy with upsetting the status quo.
Or you shutting their business down, put them in poverty. That's certainly possible too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's
Anyway.
inevitable.
I don't mean to get. I just had to get that off my chest. That's all. I don't want to get us in trouble. But anyway, the film incredible. The Jared Leto is just a great restrained performance. You know, coming off the heels of the Joker performance, it was nice to see him do that. And then that Sylvia Hoeks, who plays the female replicant, holy fuck nuts, man! It's scarier than anything Rutger Hauer did in the original Blade Runner. So much more scarier because of the combination of determination, force, and will.
Yeah.
And you really don't think anybody can defeat her. She has the angle on everything. She has the approach to everything until finally at the end, well, what happens to her, which is incredible.
The twist too is awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't want to say anything more than that.
No.
Because, you know, it's Blade Runner. The last one had, like, the last one is predicated upon a twist, is he or isn't he kind of thing.
Right.
Who is, who isn't.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, they keep that type of keeping you on your toes alive within this one.
Yeah.
What is happening? Who is this person? Who is that person?
Yeah.
What do I believe and what don't I? They do an excellent job of that. So much so that I was like, yeah, oh, okay. Like, you think I was all on board, and then it's just like, it pivots, as every movie does. Just like, okay. And then it pivots again, and just like, it's a great story.
Yeah. And what we alluded to earlier, that scene, Matt, I break in half every single time because that is one of the most incredible acting performances of Harrison Ford that I've ever seen in any scene, when that certain someone comes back and he has to confront seeing her again and his reaction to it. And you're just like,
I like that you
dude,
already tipped your hand.
I know. I don't care if you haven't seen it. If you're a Blade Runner fan and you haven't seen it, I don't know what's wrong with you, because it really is.
Well, yeah. If
continuation
you're a
of
Blade
the
Runner
worlds.
fan, you have. But if there are others out there that are sci-fi fans and they just didn't get around to it, or they're younger and they haven't seen the first one, then
They'll
so they
forget.
didn't see the second. Yeah.
They'll forget. They're young kids.
Yeah,
They have
true.
ADD.
Hopefully so.
They have ADD.
Pay attention to other things.
Yeah. Go outside.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Go outside. Take a walk. Talk to people. Anyway, all right. So a phenomenal film. Blah, blah, blah. All right. That's our top 10, separate top 10. Matt, what's the title again? Future dystopian movies?
Technological dystopian films
There
or
we go.
movies. There it is. We'll figure it out.
All right. Who's banging? Are you banging this time?
Yeah, you got it right.
All
and then we got our shout outs after this
Yes.
for our Patreon peeps. And then we have a little Patreon announcement that we will get to
Nice.
after that. But first, we got to make this list.
Oh, so
my
I
friend.
imagine 2049 is number one.
Yeah, because we both have it.
Right. Up there. Okay.
Will you give me Matrix next?
Oh, sure.
Why am I writing it down?
Yeah, I know.
I'm banging.
I was gonna let you do it for as long as
You go right ahead.
All right. What's next?
What do you have
I
at
have
2?
Edge of Tomorrow at 2.
We both thought, okay, so since you got 1, can I have 3 with Moon, and then you have Edge of Tomorrow at 4?
Well, I didn't get 1 because you had Blade Runner 2049 at 3. It's not like I made you put that at 1.
You got number 1.
But no, we got number 1.
It's semantics
like-
for you,
I
but
feel
that's
like Moon-
in actuality.
I feel like Moon being in the top 5 at all is an accomplishment for you.
Oh yeah, but
So Edge of Tomorrow should be.
all my choices are for a dystopian future is something that we did to ourselves, whereas yours is aliens showing up. So to me, mine ring truer because the dystopia is created by the people as opposed to an external force. So the causation is our own as opposed to an unknown entity. That's the difference. Hence, Moon having higher placement to me over Edge of Tomorrow. Do you see what I mean? The sourpuss on your face really indicates, and the fact that you're very quiet, not even talking into the mic, you understand the point that I'm making, the salient point.
I understand the point. I'm trying to use the other ones against you, and I can't because Blade Runner 2049 is not aliens.
No, nothing else. Everything else, the rest of your list is humans doing this. We are the ones that are enabling the dystopia, whereas yours is an outside force.
I feel like we called the aliens down.
Well, you can feel like however you want it to.
I don't have the truth.
You have
is,
no proof.
Here's what I'll say: I don't have the proof to combat this logic. So for those of you who have the proof and are yelling at your iPhones or whatever you're yelling at right now, I apologize. I couldn't defend stronger. I will have to acquiesce and put Moon at 3.
That's what I'm talking
Edge
about.
of Tomorrow is at 4,
That's fine.
and then Blade
That's
Runner
fine.
is at 5. For fuck's sake!
Well, hey,
Because I
hey,
acquiesced
hey.
on Moon.
Whoa.
I will not acquiesce.
Yeah, but you got Moon, then you got something. What did you get your number?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You
So
pushed
why
it
do
all
you
the way
get back
down
to
to
back?
4.
Because I don't have Blade Runner.
You push it all the way down to 4.
Yeah, but I don't have Blade Runner. Well, why don't we go?
Moon
I don't.
or The Matrix.
What do you have Blade Runner at? At your 3, right? At your 3? I have Snowpiercer at 3.
Okay.
But we both have Minority Report in our top 5.
If you want to put Minority Report in the top 5, do you want to put Minority Report after Edge of Tomorrow?
Yes,
All right, that's fine.
because we both have that.
I accept. But then Blade Runner. And then you can do your Snowpiercer. Because you got 2.
Yeah, but that's
you
two,
got 2 back-to-back. You got Matrix and the Moon back-to-back.
Yeah, but that's 2 Blade Runners on one list.
No, but that's
You know what I
fine.
mean? So
Blade
we
Runner's
need-
going to make the list.
I'm not saying it's not,
Okay.
but I'm saying, how about this?
You are feeling yourself tonight. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we both have Dread as well,
We do have Dread. I'm
and
happy
we
to
have
put-
Wall-E.
Yeah.
What number are
I'm
we
not
at?
putting Wall-E above Blade
No.
Runner.
That's
And
crazy
I don't
talk.
think I put Dread above Blade Runner either. I mean, it's fucking Blade Runner.
Just 2 Blade Runners in the. Will you give me Snowpiercer there so we have a little bit of distinction
Yeah,
between?
but there's no Blade Runner in the top 5.
So there's that 2 Blade Runners in the top. Come on, man.
What, in the top 6? In the top 6, though. You don't think that's enough of a distance? You wait. So what do you?
No.
You don't argue?
I'll give you
Snowpiercer?
6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Blade Runner is 6.
Well, what's going to 5 then? 5
Minority
is
Report.
Minority Report.
Right.
Then okay. I just think then Snowpiercer, then Blade Runner, because that's 2 Blade Runners in one 10 list. 2.
Yeah, but you don't want to keep shoving it down. Then you're killing the quality of the film.
You're not killing the quality of the film. You're just saying that, hey, listen, we're honoring that franchise. It's only 2 entries twice on this list. That's saying a lot.
I gave in on the Moon.
I'll flip a coin.
No, well, because
Let's flip a coin.
You're telling me The Matrix, The Moon, Edge of Tomorrow, and Minority Report, and now you're trying to tell me Snowpiercer are all higher ranking films.
For the
than
purpose
Blade
of
Runner.
a list that is going to feature 2 Blade Runner films,
Yes.
I will flip a coin. You can call it in the air.
Snowpiercer is still on the list.
You can call it in the air.
I'm not participating. I call heads, but I'm not participating.
I'm just going to let it bounce on the ground. Where'd it go? Went under my chair. Is it still rolling?
Is that a 2-sided coin?
That is a tails. Do you want to come check this?
No.
That is a tails.
I believe you.
I'll kick it over to you. How about that?
I believe you. It's fine.
Right there.
I don't agree with this decision. It hit my foot. Flip it again. No.
I'll give you a best 2 out of 3.
All right, thank
I'll give you a best 2 out of 3.
Thank you.
What do we got? Oh,
This is how we do it. Will you stop
well, it's
flipping
way
it all
over there.
over the
I
room?
can't look. It's a concrete floor with a
right.
metal coin.
All right, where are we at? Oh, here we go. Decider.
Here it is. We've never done this before. All right, I'm kicking this chair
Oh,
all the way the
Jesus
fuck out of
Christ,
there.
man.
Well, just to do it right here,
All right.
in the hopes that it stays in between us.
Oh, heads.
This motherfucker. Fine. Have your Blade Runner.
Thank you.
Look, I'm the one that
I'm
created
getting
this stupid
Snowpiercer.
little reality.
I'm getting Snowpiercer afterwards. Snowpiercer right there.
Go, you shut your mouth.
And then Dread. Do you want to do Dread after Snowpiercer?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what? Wall-E?
What number are we on?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 9.
Yeah, Wall-E.
Okay. And now is the big. Okay.
What do you have left?
You know
What's your
what?
highest number?
5. Akira.
What's that?
Akira. 5. Akira. Whatever she wants to fuck.
Okay, I got Looper at 6.
Well, since you gave in on the Blade Runner, I can give in on.
Oh,
Looper.
look at you.
Do you want to put Looper above?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Looper's
Yes,
number
I
10.
do.
There it is. You're banging, right?
Yes, I am banging.
Tell me
Give
the
me that
title again.
sweet, sweet
Tell me
falsetto.
the time get title again.
Technological dystopian movies.
The top 10 technological dystopian movies, yeah.
At number 10.
Looper.
At number 9.
Wall-E.
Coming in the Ocho.
Dread.
At number 7.
Snowpiercer.
Number 6 is.
Oh, yes, Blade Runner.
Now starting our top 5.
Minority Report.
And number 4.
Edge of Tomorrow.
And then our trio spot is
Moon.
at number 2.
The Matrix.
And finally, our number 1 technological dystopian movie is...
Blade Runner 2049.
There it is.
That's a good list of a lot of interesting movies. And we split the atom the way you wanted to split the atom, Matt. You suggested splitting the atom. And we had some great new movies to talk about on the show.
A ton of new movies, thankfully.
Yeah.
And it was still broad enough to where you could go your own ways.
Yep.
You know what I couldn't remember? Was Eternal Sunshine set in the future?
No. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? No.
Okay.
He's just set in the future where he forgets, or she forgets who he is because she had her mind erased.
I just didn't know if it was, it's 20 years in the future, and now we have
Right.
this technology kind of thing. And I was like, that's an interesting one. We haven't really
Yeah.
talked about that one. I think it's maybe come up once.
Eternal Sunshine?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a film I use on dates. Like, if you don't like Eternal Sunshine, I can't date you.
Okay.
It's actually a real barometer for me. Like, it's legitimate. Like, Punch Drunk Love, I can let you slide on. But Eternal Sunshine, I can't let you slide on Eternal Sunshine.
You got any other honorables?
Oh, yeah. No, I pretty much deleted all my honorable. I mean, yeah, I deleted all my honorables. So, whatever you've got. Do you have anything? I mean, RoboCop was a possibility.
Yeah, RoboCop is a possibility.
Yeah, T2 was a possibility. Terminator, of course, was a possibility.
Let's see, Idiocracy.
Oh, man, I was close on Idiocracy.
It didn't quite fit
Yep.
the vibe of what all the other movies I was going for the dystopia.
It didn't feel as dystopian as I wanted it to fit for our list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Free Jack. They never had a chance.
The Emilio Estevez movie?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I saw it in the theater, and I've always had kind of a soft spot.
I have to tell you something. I've always wanted that to be a Schmodown question. Just so
Free Jack?
Just so I can press people that Mick Jagger's in that movie. I thought, like, that would be a great Schmodown question. Who's the villain in Free Jack?
Oh, dude, it's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. And also, but Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger,
right?
but Mick Jagger eventually comes over kind of to the good side.
Yes, he does. I thought about 12 Monkeys, but we had already talked about it recently.
Yeah.
Children of Men didn't have enough technology for me to consider it a dystopian technology film. Logan's Run, I think if I had seen it more recently, I might have considered it. Brazil was another one I looked at, and District 9.
Brazil didn't have... District 9 to me was aliens. I didn't want to do the aliens because I wanted the causation to be our own.
I got you.
Brazil, to me, it wasn't about the technology. It was about the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So that was like the difference of the two.
Right. What did you think of Metropolis? I was considering Metropolis because we talked about it on the silent movie when we did Metropolis. I was considering because it is a futuristic film.
Yes.
And you're seeing the dystopian nature of the society because of the technology of what happened in the world and what it's turning the populace into and what they have to do to fight back. So
Now, I don't think it ever really had much of a chance
okay.
To make my list.
What about The Running Man? Did you think about Running Man at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in the running.
Yep. If Strange Days had been a better film, I'd have considered Strange Days as well, but it didn't quite get there for me. All right. Well, anyway, that's a lot of honorable mentions, a lot of films that you haven't seen yet. Are we doing these Patreon shout-outs, or do you want to do the announcement first?
Let's do the Patreon shout out, then we'll do the announcement afterwards.
Okay.
So normally I type these out for John and I,
He does.
but I was at home today, and today was my first day that I've actually, like I said before, sat down to be able to do this show, any kind of prep, which is unusual for me. And I lost power at my house, so I didn't have access to my computer to type anything up the few hours I was home, which is when I anticipated doing it. So I'm on their website. I couldn't get to it on the app,
Yeah, I can't get to it on the app.
so I had to go to
either.
their website.
Okay.
We can share my phone.
Why don't you start,
Okay.
and I'll catch up.
All right, so this is our end of the month. It is a thank you to everybody that has supported us at the $5 and up level on Patreon. We are going to do a shout out for all your names. And this is how they were entered on Patreon. So whatever you signed up as, like one gentleman, Citizen Ugly, who we just did last week's show for.
Okay.
He was our Patreon.
Where do I go? Manager? Do I go to manager? Under patrons? Where do I go?
Yeah, manager, and then click on Feb or the. You should be able to. Yep.
Okay.
And then it pulls it up.
I'm here.
And it starts right at the top of the list at the Boss Hog level.
Okay.
You see it?
Go, yes.
All right, so our first shout outs, and thank you so much to all of you as we go down this. We are going to screw up pronunciations.
Absolutely.
Mike Barrington.
Wiley Todd.
Camilo Gutierrez.
Anthony Casanova.
Gil Reyes.
Drew Enns.
Matthew Hasso.
Citizen Ugly.
Tim Koskuba.
Andrew Hayes.
Corey Greathouse Sloan.
Hi, Corey. Robert Haley.
Claiborne Williams.
Kevin Fuss.
Christos Alexakos.
Eric Grebner.
Philip Renshaw.
Alec Christie.
Dylan Steiner.
Rachel Silvestrini. Hi, Rachel.
Jake Higgins.
Zach Butts.
Martin Borak.
Joey Anthony.
Lawrence Witt.
Ellis Menchaca, sorry.
Sean Naughton.
Tryon Mogard.
Andrew Marker.
Brian Seferny.
Tyler Spots.
Wayne Murphy.
Ben Archambault.
Rudy A. Martinez.
Brett Yo.
Matthew Picardat.
Deborah Torres.
Hi, Deborah. Joey Peter.
Ruben Enriquez.
Tom Kostelny.
Gulik Granerud.
Ed Buskirk.
Niall Blackie.
Norwegian Blue.
Brian Yoships.
John Keefe.
Eva, a.k.a. Evil.
Simon Brouillard.
Kristen Smith.
Hey, Kristen. Oh, Ryan M. Brandos.
Chris Jones.
Jack Van Oord.
Marcel Behrman.
Daniel Loftus.
Aaliyah Moore.
Hi, Aaliyah. Fuzzy Large.
Carlos Cortez.
Colin Murray.
Let's see. Ingi Por Hal Grimson.
Nice. Robert Cooper.
Elise Brancato.
Chris Gohans J to 20,005.
Ah!
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
God damn it, man. Now I
I'm
got to
sorry.
edit that out. I was literally sitting here going, don't do it.
Sorry. Chris Gohans.
And let me check the time so I don't have to listen to this whole fucking thing as I go through.
You know it's going to be during the Patreon shout out.
I know, but
You know
still,
it's
it
the
gives me a
end.
ballpark. It gives me a ballpark. I have to go
fine.
through and do an edit point.
Fine.
Ole Heskja.
Yeah. Nicholas Smith.
Fraser Jubb.
Ashley Prowls.
Jack McIntyre.
Brandon Brown.
Matthew Hall.
Alejandra Padilla.
Jason Taylor.
Simon Hufnagel.
Sujayanth Fernando.
Yes. Jay Watson.
Seth Shearer.
Philip Lane.
Seamus Braytag.
Ryan McKenna.
Jack Gratis.
Ryan Clark.
Matthew Lee Cravens.
John Holloway.
Katie 7.
Eric Barrios.
Pie Hard. 13.
Matt Yund.
Joshua Stein.
Andrew Herbs.
Joseph Birtwhistle, rather.
Giancarlo Simonetta.
Andy Ortiz.
Andrew Berger.
Eric Bloor.
Jim Payne.
Yuri Mugierli.
Laura Deverson. Sorry.
Patrick Zamora.
Brian Aiken.
Sean Brennan.
Davion Akinsanya.
Thuzanth Sunthar. Thuzanth Suntherallingham.
Yes.
Suntherallingham.
You got that.
Thuzanth Suntherallingham.
Simon Skiote Thompson.
Darth Easy.
Jacob Pullen.
Brian Evans.
Jeff Saliba.
Ian Morgan.
Julian Key.
Dan Nye.
Hey, Dan. Jose De La Torre.
Christian Loudons.
Matt O.
The Cinephiles.
Oh,
Old
thanks,
Steve
Steve.
Morris.
Yes. Andrew O'Day.
Martin Collins.
Josh James.
Magali Dore.
Ricky Rivers.
Gordon Rustling.
Matthew Lafreniere.
Aaron Carroll.
Nick Dornoff.
Nick White.
Jeff Peters.
Josh Ryan.
Jen Kempe.
Hello, Patrick
Hey,
Campbell.
PJ. Francisco Ramirez Burgos.
Bar Shamrich.
Thomas Price.
Mike Austin.
Rowan Chidari.
Alexander Marzonia.
N.A. Nicole Lee.
Thorsten Amuller.
Jose Goico Valentin.
Evan Zoller.
Kevin Hills.
Jonathan Chase.
Luke Larson.
And there we go.
There it is.
Luke Larson, you're our final one. Thank you to all of you.
Thank
that
you.
Donated on Patreon, $5 and up. Thank you
Yep.
so much. We appreciate your support
You're most kind.
every time. And to that fact, so we've been talking behind the scenes.
Yes.
We felt bad for the $10 people because we have not given them anything.
Yes.
Everybody else has gotten something.
Yeah.
And the $10, we're like, well, we'll work on, we'll get you something, we'll create. And, like, damn it, they're the only ones that have been getting screwed on this.
Yeah.
So this is our way to give back. Next month, so our show comes out on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Next month, starting in April, on Wednesday, every week on Wednesday, we are going to be uploading an old show.
Yep.
And that will be available to the $10 members and up.
Well, and this came about, I want to say this came about because of an exchange I had with one of our members on Facebook, I think.
Yeah. We've been thinking about, like, what could we do with these? And then the exchange you had and the discussion that
The unfortunate exchange I had with a couple of our
Yeah.
fans. Yep.
and the discussion that we had between the two of us about it, and it sparked the idea of, well, what if we gave it back in this way?
Yeah.
Because we've had these in the back burner of like, what can we do with this? I don't know. They're off. People ask for them. So what it would be, we're starting with car chases, and that'll be up. That'll be a specific feed that only you'll be able to see. So at $10 and up, it unlocks it because it's behind like a, like kind of like when boobs pop up on TV, it'd be pixelated. Well,
Yeah.
we take the pixelation off, and you'll be able to see the boobs on this.
There you go.
But you can't tweet the link out.
Right.
You can't do anything because it's once you do that, then anybody has access to it. And we're not trying to be exclusive, but
Yeah.
you guys are supporting us, so this is our way to say thank you for your support.
Absolutely.
So if you just give it away, well then it'll make it tougher for us to figure out other ways to give back.
Yep.
To you
Absolutely.
guys, because it was just like, all right, well, we have to give them something that only they can get. Then I'm not sure what that'll be.
Yeah.
So, if you have access to it, then please don't tweet the link out. Don't give it out.
Mm-hmm.
This is for you as a thank you to you from us.
So let me clarify what Matt's saying. For those of you who've been asking about our old episodes when we first started the Cinephiles. I mean, I'm sorry, the Top 10 show, right?
Yeah, as
Sorry.
an audio show.
So as an audio show, way back, like 3-4 years ago when we started it, you guys have been asking about those old episodes. Where they go? We are going to make them available to anybody who is donating $10 above. So if you donate only $1, you donate only $5. If you donate $10 and above, you will have access to one extra episode a week starting next week from our old catalog. And
Yeah.
just so you don't get too comfortable, every 3 months we will take down the first one we put up. So let's say we put up
Yeah.
Car Chases, then 3 months later, once we cross that 3 months line, Car Chases disappears. Then the next week, the second one disappears. Next week, third one disappears.
Exactly.
That's how we're working this
And
thing.
we're starting at number 1, and
Yeah.
then the next week will be number 2. So it'll
Exactly.
be in sequence, so you'll understand, like, if there's a reference to something earlier, you won't be lost on any of that. And you've heard us talk about, like, Chimp Strong before.
Yeah,
Where did
Chimp
that come
Strong. Where
from?
did that
Well,
come from? Right.
that's one of the old shows, and now you'll be in on that joke. And the reason for the 3 months is because of server space and bandwidth.
Yeah.
Like, we could put it up to where we could put them all up eventually as they go up every week, and you'd have access to them. But the problem is the numbers of downloads we do each week, it would get to the point where that server space would be so stinking expensive
Yep.
in 6 months' time
Yeah.
that it would kill it.
Yep.
We just wouldn't be able to do it a year and a half from now.
Yep.
Unless we could. It just like it's certain benchmarks would have to be made. And if it gets to that point where we can, then it's a different discussion. But as of right now, it's just like, you know what, we're going to, instead of basically reinvesting whatever money we get from you back into server space,
Yeah.
we'll do it at 3-month clips, and that should make it manageable. If we can extend it, we will let you know.
Right.
And if we eventually decide, we'll keep them up there, or we'll take them all off, or whatever the case is, whatever happens, we'll let you know in advance. But it'll be once a week. So this show comes out on Tuesday. That show will now come out on Wednesday every week, like clockwork. You don't have to do anything, and then you're done. There you go. You got a free extra hour and a half of entertainment every week.
There we go. All right, well, that's our show. I think that's everything, right? All announcements?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
thank you so much that everybody has supported us this month.
Yep.
If you want to donate to us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. And you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Matt Nost, MATTKNOST.
And what's the address for the group if people want to be part of the Facebook group?
Facebook.com/groups/the top 10 show with the number 10.
There you go. And if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. See all the stuff I'm doing there. And, of course, keep supporting us here on the show. And, of course, watch our stuff on Collider as well. And watch our upcoming matches. We'll be taking that. Don't forget, the live event is this Friday. You can watch what happened there. Matt showed up to support the Outlaw, and Outlaw taking on JT. So a lot of fun there. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we will talk to you all next week on the Top 10 Show. Bye-bye.